SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The NBA Finals move to Game 5 tonight in Oklahoma. The Thunder and Pacers tied at 2, mostly because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander took over late in Game 4.
It comes down to the moments and who's willing to make winning plays on both ends of the floor. But yeah, I relish those moments, love the moments, good or bad. When I was a kid shooting on my driveway, I count down the clock for those moments, and now I get to live it. So it's a blessing, it's fun, and I relish it.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, coverage of Game 5 starts at 7:30 Eastern here on ESPN Radio, 8 Eastern on ABC. Two notable baseball returns tonight in Los Angeles. Shohei Ohtani will pitch for the first time in 22 months and for the first time with the Dodgers. He'll be the opener against the Padres, probably just an inning or two. And in New York, Yankees DH Giancarlo Stanton makes his season debut against the Angels. He's been out with elbow injuries. For the first time in 19 years, there are 3 American men in the top 10 tennis rankings. Taylor Fritz is 4th, Tommy Paul 7th, and Ben Shelton is ranked 8th.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Tuesday as we wait for the Knicks to hire the Airhead coach. I'll tell you what else they need to do if they want to be real title contenders. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Heading to Omaha in 15 minutes. We'll find Will Helmers, the voice of UCLA, in Hour 2. David Dellucci from Omaha in Hour 3. But let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Now fires. The 0-1, a bouncer. Towards second base, Milam on the short hop, throws to first in time. Tigers win, Tigers win. A statement victory for LSU in their first game of the 2025 College World Series.
Chris Blair on the call, LSU Sports Radio Network. LSU beats Arkansas for the third time this year, 4-1. The Tigers take it over the Hogs and move into the winner's bracket, where tonight, 6 o'clock Central, it'll be LSU against UCLA, and the winner of that game will be firmly entrenched in the driver's seat. And I'm not sure if you've checked, but LSU is an enormous favorite in this ball game, as well they should be, because last week when we sat here, and this isn't unique to me or Muse or anybody, anyone who's watched this team at all throughout the year, the many contributors that we've had on the show, from guys like David Dellucci and Kendall Rogers, it's all been the same thing. You felt good about this LSU team winning the national championship, or being able to win the national championship, because you have the best 1-2 starting pitching punch in the country with Anderson and Iansen. I've given this analogy more times than I care to, because I hate to give them their flowers, but it's the same thing Ole Miss did in 2021 with Dylan Dellucci and Hunter Elliott. They had two dominant starters. They rode those two dudes straight throughout the postseason. And the way this bracket is set up, the way the tournament is set up, is if you stay in the winner's bracket, obviously, your odds of winning the tournament are going to go up dramatically. Hey, don't lose. Well, how do you not lose? Keep throwing dudes out there like Cade Anderson, who goes against the statistically the best offense in the SEC and throws 7 innings of 1-run ball on 3 hits with 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. By the way, for Arkansas, the 1 run was the lowest of the season. The 4 hits tied the lowest output of the season for Arkansas, and they had only 3 runners reach second base in the entire ball game. You want to know how you win against really good teams? That's how you win against really good teams. Cade Anderson would have bounced back from the by his standards, subpar outing against West Virginia in the Supers.
Yeah, I think that's part of the game, and you don't take those for granted. It's a learning lesson. And to have that experience and to learn from that outing was huge. And Coach Yeski and I kind of went through it and kind of found out what was the plan for next week to be better. And just kind of taking it all in. And it was cool, really, really cool moment. But just excited to win. That's all that really matters.
Cade Anderson was awesome and has now put you in this position where you get to throw Anthony Iansen out there against UCLA with a shot to go 2-0 and put a tremendous amount of pressure on whoever comes out of that losers bracket to have to beat you twice if you get this game, but we'll get there. Anderson was a giant reason why you were able to beat UCLA. Another was an opportunistic offense. You came up with a 3-run second inning, and you didn't even really have a hard-hit ball in that inning. I mean, you were the beneficiary of some good fortune, walk, hit batsman. You had a drag bunt for a single, and you had Chris Stanfield come up in that spot where you're looking to make their mistakes hurt, and Stanfield, who handles the bat so well, and just tremendous respect for what he is as a selfless offensive player, came through for you there.
Bases loaded, 1 out. The pitch. Launched to left field, coming in, and will drop down for a base hit. They'll send in Hernandez. They'll hold up Curiel, but an RBI single off the bat of Chris Stanfield gives the Tigers a 1-0 lead.
Launched is maybe a bit of an exaggeration, right? I mean, that's maybe a little expressive.
A little bit, but hey, man, it sounded good with the ping of the bat in there.
It's radio,
Bing,
right? It's
launch.
Launch.
Come on now.
Or just kind of like a little flare to shallow it. But that's all you needed, right?
Yep.
It's all you needed. And it's one of the, we talked about Chris Stanfield in the regionals. Similar situation where he just had to get a backside ground ball to get a runner home from third. He pokes it through in supers and pokes it through into right field. Chris Stanfield is a selfless offensive player. He goes to the plate with an approach, knowing what he's trying to do. He's hit 1 home run on the year, and it came in the postseason. He's not a power hitter. He's there to make sure he's getting on base, moving runners, and setting the table as they turn the lineup over, and he's been awesome at it. Gigantic spot there as well as LSU came through with a run there to get things started on Stanfield single. They'd push across a couple of more. And then in the 8th inning, after Milam doubles, they go get Gibbler to face Derek Curiel. I mean, Dave Van Horn talked about it after the game. It was very intentional in that spot, clearly intentional in that spot, to try to get Curiel. And after 2 very, very bad swings where he looked overmatched, Derek Curiel comes up with the RBI single that gives you the insurance run. And after the game, Derek Curiel, in his postgame press conference, talked about that at-bat in the 8th inning that gave LSU the insurance.
Trusted myself with 2 strikes, whether that's taking or swinging. I know with my hand-eye coordination, I could be able to battle at any count. So I'm never defeated in the box, even when I go down 0-2 on some 2 pretty ugly swings, probably my 2 ugliest swings of the year. But just having confidence and just sticking to my approach and knowing that he was going to go back to that pitch, staying on it.
So you were dominant on the mound. You were opportunistic offensively. Let's not forget also that defensively, you came up with big plays in this ballgame. In the 2nd and the 4th, Arkansas had the leadoff hitter on. Walk in the 2nd, single in the 4th. In both instances, Anderson induced a 5-4-3 double play that LSU executed beautifully. It's one of the things that I know I'm starting to talk about it more now, but we haven't talked enough about throughout this season is how good this team has been defensively. They're fielding .981. I mean, that is, MLB is, we always talk, was like that line's like .980. You're going to be about, they're at .981. Arkansas's at .984. They're a great defensive team as well. But you're seeing this LSU team back up their elite pitching with great defense behind them as well. And then you backed up your starting pitching with Chase Shores and Kason Evans, who were incredible. After Anderson gave up a leadoff runner in the 8th, Shores comes in. He uncorks a wild pitch. But then after that, boom, boom, boom. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. See you back in the dugout. And then Evans finished it off after allowing the leadoff single. Got him. Shores only threw 10 pitches. Evans threw 13 pitches. Both guys would be available tonight against UCLA if you need them. It goes to show, again, the importance of winning Game 1. And I'll give a hat tip here to Chris Marlar over at LouisianaSports.net. He wrote this before the LSU-Arkansas game last week. There are only 4 teams in this format that have lost game 1 and won the College World Series. So you're talking about the last one to do it, by the way, was Oregon State in 2018. You were talking about the probability of winning the national championship when you lose game 1 cratering. Now, it's not to say you have to start 2-0. I mean, we saw LSU lose the second game back in 2023 and go on to win the national championship. They got to the championship series in 17 after losing that second game and advancing through the losers bracket. So it's doable to get there. But again, 4 teams have won the national championship after losing their first game. It's just why it's so imperative to win and stay ahead of the curve there. And that's what LSU was able to do. And now, as you bring it back full circle to why, if you were so confident about LSU going into this thing, it's because of Anderson Iansen. Anderson goes out and outperforms Zach Root, who didn't make it out of the second inning. And all of a sudden now, in a winner's bracket game, when UCLA is going to throw a guy with an ERA in the mid-4s who has fewer than a strikeout per inning pitched, you're going to hand the ball to Anthony Iansen, who's 3rd in the country in strikeouts with an ERA in the 2s. This is why a lot of people looked at LSU and said, that should be the betting favorite. That should be the team favored to win this thing because you've got talent everywhere, but it starts with those 2 guys at the front of your rotation who can keep you in the winner's bracket and get you through the postseason. See if the Tigers can get it done tonight against UCLA. We're going to talk plenty about tonight's ball game as we move throughout the show. As a matter of fact, we're heading up to Omaha here in just a smidge. We'll chat with Will Helmers, who was there with the Tigers 2 years ago, winning a national championship. Now he's doing a bunch of content for Gordon McKernan, and he's up in Omaha. So I want to get Helmers' take on Saturday night, advancing the winner's bracket. This game here tonight, UCLA, and just sort of the boots on the ground feel from the College World Series. We'll do that. Our show open every day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Of course, Bud Light, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Big hat tip to our friends over at Mockler Beverage. Been great supporters of the Tigers for 4 decades now. But if you're going to be watching the Tigers here in Omaha at your home, if you're in Omaha, maybe listening or watching while you're in Omaha, big shout out. Make sure you raise a glass of a nice cold Bud Light and go Tigers. Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Okay, it's after further review, y'all. We're not going to quick break. Come back. Will Helmers is here on the other side. We will talk to Nick Koop or Koop? Koop. K-O-O-P. Looks like Koop. Koop. He's the voice of UCLA. He'll be here in hour number 2. So we'll get to that. And then Luch will be here with us from Omaha as well in hour 3. So we're heading up. We're heading up to the Midwest plenty throughout the show today. And very heavy LSU baseball as we get ready for the Tigers and the Bruins with a 6 o'clock Central first pitch. Stay here. It's AFR.
After further review.
We are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, where they have the lowest prices and never any contracts. So it's one of the things I want to hammer home. Lowest prices, never any contracts. If one of the reasons maybe you haven't called Goodwood to learn more about testosterone replacement therapy yet, or NAD+, or BPC 157, or any of their ED treatments that I've told you about, many of the different therapies that they have that can help you feel like your younger self, regain that youthful vitality. If one of the reasons is I don't want to get stuck to a long-term contract, what if I don't like it? What if it doesn't work? No worries. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Learn more at yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Talk about it all the time, y'all. Funny name, funny logo. I get it. It's about levity for the whole thing to make what's sort of an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of men easier to talk about. Whatever the reason, whatever the push, you want to feel your best, they can help. yourgoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Not really close. Felt good about Kaysen, felt good about the matchups. Just didn't want to get caught behind the 8 ball if we needed him.
Jay Johnson was asked on Sunday during his media availability how close Anthony Iansen was to coming in. That's because when Iansen met with reporters, he told them that he was hot. He was ready to come in and just waiting on Jay Johnson to give him the ball. It's the right decision to have the forethought to make sure you don't get stuck in a spot where against Arkansas, you got a 4-1 lead, you're 3 outs away from moving into the winner's bracket. Don't let that thing unravel and get away and get stuck in a pinch. So they had Iansen ready to go if they needed him. Iansen said to reporters he was hot. He was ready to go. But, man, Kaysen Evans, all he needed was 10 pitches to get through the inning. He was 13. Evans threw 13 pitches. Shores threw 10. So 13 to get through the ninth. And, man, they were impressive. Guy who knows what it's like to come out of the pen for Jay Johnson, knows what it's like to win in Omaha is Will Helmers, who's up there right now doing stuff for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys in Louisiana. Loaded. How are you, dude?
Fantastic. I'm taking a view at Charles Schwab Field in Rocco's. It's in my sight line. I'm ready to roll, man.
I love it, man. Hey, so you've been up there doing content creation for Louisiana Loaded under Gordon's arm there. What's the experience been like? Obviously, you've been there as a fan, as a player. What's the experience been like as a fan?
Totally different, man. And it goes both ways. As a fan, it's awesome. You get to drink, you get to party, you get to be with all the LSU fans and watch people get in fights between LSU-Arkansas, all that fun stuff. But as a player, there's nothing better than competing in that environment, in front of 25,000 people and just, the atmosphere is just so intensified at every level, from pregame to during the game to postgame. You're a real celebrity when you're here as a player, whether you're, riding the pine or you're the starter. And it's just seriously a magical place for a fan. As I'm seeing it now, it's amazing. I get to experience the whole, baseball village and the whole shot thing and all these different bars and LSU, fans are just so welcomed here. It's great both ways. It really is.
Were there things that as a player you were not aware of that you're experiencing now? Like, you're obviously, the whole experience is different, but things that you didn't even know were happening.
Not particularly. And
Okay.
we kind of knew what was going on, in 2023. Like, we had some off time. Like, it's a long tournament. It's a 2.5 week, deal that you're up here if you're here the whole time like we were. And so we got to experience a lot of it, like the different shops and stuff. We had off days and got to go to the zoo or whatever, all that fun stuff. But it's just a different, different deal.
Yeah, man. Give me what has been, outside of the game, the highlight so far for you.
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. I really just enjoy, seeing all these LSU fans. Like, it is really, honestly, Alex Box with the North. Like, it is unbelievable. And it was, what was interesting to me is there's realistically probably more Arkansas fans here. LSU fans, take that as a hit to your heart. But LSU just, we, outnumbered, in sound, and in the stadium, it was just like, Arkansas wasn't even there. That was probably the coolest thing to me.
I think you've got such a heavy number of LSU fans there already, but people do it two ways, Will, as I understand, or as I've experienced. Some will go in the first weekend to guarantee that they're going to get to watch their team play 2 games. Some wait and say, okay, if they advance, I'll go. And so I think
that's right.
LSU wins tonight. I think you're going to have a pretty steady stream of purple and gold flowing to Omaha here in the next few days. Will Helmers is with us, former Tiger pitchers up there in Omaha. I guess we can say covering the College World Series, maybe just from a different angle. What happened with the
something
fight?
Like that?
What happened with the fight, by the way? What was that?
Oh well, it was actually, I wasn't so on Friday night. So obviously for Gordon McKernan, we're doing 888 shots every day that the Tigers are in the tournament, and so Gordon sent me up here to do that. And so Friday night I got here, first night of the tournament, by 888, and then they're letting me pass them out 200 every hour, or actually 200 every 30 minutes, excuse me. And so I did that, all night, and I showed up the next morning to Rocco's at 11:30 to buy some more, and they kind of told me, like, hey, look, we had to shut down early last night. It was mostly LSU fans that were starting fights and just doing really inappropriate things that should not be done in a bar, and so they had to shut down early. So now I'm giving out 150 Jello shots every hour, so we can kind of spread it out throughout the day instead of a mass of Jello every 30 minutes.
Yeah. So go
LSU fans on the right track.
If you're in Omaha, just look for Will Helmers. He will effectively be permanently affixed to Rocco's, handing out Jello shots every hour. I love it, though. That's fantastic. All right, let's talk a little bit about what we saw on Saturday. Obviously, Kate Anderson was awesome. Give me what was your biggest takeaway from Saturday night?
Pitching. I mean, pitching is going to win this thing, especially in this park, right? You're playing in the Grand Canyon, and it's just going to be hard. I don't want to say hard, but it's going to be difficult for an offense to really score runs against a pitcher, like somebody who's pounding the zone and doing all this, doing everything like that, pounding the zone, throwing strikes. It's going to be difficult for an offense to really, really score, especially in this park. And, LSU jumped on route early, had some miscues from the Arkansas side, and look, they took advantage of it, and that's going to be a lot of these games I think you'll see, especially for LSU. I'm hoping the offense can really start, pounding and taking good swings. And look, we struck out 16 times as a team on Saturday night. That's, that can't happen. That's not going to win games, for the most part. And so the offense has got to get moving, got to get back on the right track, and they will. It's just going to, it might take a second.
Will, as a pitcher, what did you see, either how Arkansas attacked LSU or LSU's approach that led to those 16 strikeouts?
I just, it's a strange thing. Look, 16 strikeouts, obviously, like I said, it can't happen. LSU, they were taking bad swings. Just realistically, taking bad swings, pitches out of the zone, pitches on breaking balls out of the zone that even started out of the zone. That's just not a good recipe for taking competitive at bats and trying to get guys on base. And they kind of skewed, it seemed like, from what their normal plan is we're going to take some pitches, we're going to walk, we're going to get on base, move guys around, and that just wasn't part of the plan. And Arkansas really, realistically, except for that one inning, did an outstanding job of attacking our hitters, in a way that they wouldn't succeed. And their reliever, that's one of their best guys that they brought in, Gackle, and he did the job. For the most part, it was just that one inning and that fourth run that we tacked on right at the end screwed him up.
Yeah, man. Well, it was Root, Gackle, Gibbler. I mean, you're facing elite level arms. They're gonna get a lot of good hitters. It's similar when teams go up against Anderson or Iansen. I mean, Arkansas is probably asking the same question. How in the world did you score 1 run on 4 hits? Well, you saw Kate Anderson, Chase Shores, and Casey Evans. Good luck. I mean, that's just going to be the reality.
Yeah, 3 big leaguers.
So,
Hello.
Sorry, Will. So how do you offensively, how do you turn that around today against UCLA?
Man, it's a new day. Look, that's the message that I would go into it with. Oh, look, there goes Mardi Gras Mike.
Hey!
Hey, Mardi Gras Mike. Sweet.
That thing's not just parked.
Up again.
That thing is like rolling all through town. That's not just parked somewhere.
Oh my God, all day. He rolled through town all day. He was parked outside the Hilton under the interstate, just blaring, calling Baton Rouge for like 8 hours straight.
God.
Repeat your question. I got off track.
No, you're good.
Mardi Gras
I was saying, how do you turn it around offensively? You were saying, well, it's a new day.
Look, yeah, and that's the message that I would go into it with. That it is a new day. It's a new team. You're going to see new arms, a good arm. A guy that's thrown 70, plus innings and is under a 5 ERA. It's a good arm, but it's a different team. And LSU needs to kind of go into it like they're a different team today than they were on Saturday, and they will be. And just attacking the ball, and sticking to that plan that has really, worked for them all season of we're going to get guys on base and move them around, and maybe once in a while we'll hit a long ball. And I think just, attacking it like it's a new day with confidence, and, it's confidence from the coaching staff, confidence from the whole team, confidence from each player, in each at bat. That's going to go a long way, especially, they're on top of the world right now. They just, they wanted to beat Arkansas. And so, I hope it doesn't get lost that the rest of these 6 teams here are great teams. They all have a chance to realistically, make it to the championship, that championship series. And I don't want them to lose sight of that. It's just, it's Omaha, baby. Anybody can win. Anybody can compete. They just got to attack it like it's a new day.
Last thing, when you were there 2 years ago, you were in the same position here, 1 game won, now going into the winner's bracket game. What is Jay Johnson telling his team today?
I'd like to think he's saying something different, but he's not. It's just another game for them. They've executed well all season long and performed at some of the highest levels, and this is going to be nothing different for them. They've done this before. They've played teams like this before. They have a great advantage with, honestly, Iansen on the mound, growing up on that side of the country. I think that's a great advantage, as well as Jay. Jay coached over there for a long time. It's a different style of ball. They're going to play it like they've played it all season and just attack guys, get them out, and take good swings and get guys on base and watch it happen.
Make sure you're following Louisiana Loaded on social media, Instagram. Hey, can I make a request that you put the videos on Twitter as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm on it.
So Instagram, thank you. Instagram,
Twitter,
and Twitter.
TikTok.
And TikTok, yeah. So whenever we, because when we pull them up here, it's very hard to pull up Instagram here in studio. I was going to show some of the videos, but and because of formatting. But anyway, yeah, Twitter would be awesome too if you'd put them up there. So follow at Louisiana Loaded, spell it out. Of course, they're courtesy of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. 888 Jello shots at Rocco's for every day that LSU's in the tournament. Go set a new record there.
That's right. Why not?
Enjoy the day. Go Tigers. Let's get another one, man. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Let's do it. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, bro. That's Will Helmers, 2023 national champion with the LSU Tigers, up there with working with Gordon McKernan, doing content creation now. So Will is, I didn't realize that. So Will is that's his role up there. He's the one who's distributing the 888 Jell-O shots every day over at Rocco's. So we've gotten to the bottom of what's going on there. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com, title sponsor of our Monday shows all throughout the years. Windows, door, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. We're going to knock out a break. We will go around the SEC when we come back. There's a little bit of football we're going to sprinkle in. The Saints did sign Cam Akers over the weekend, and there's some recruiting tidbits with two five-star prospects that LSU fans will certainly be interested in hearing about with Lamar Brown and Tristen Keys. We'll get to that here in about 45 minutes from right now. We got a ton to do. A jam-packed Monday show presented by Relief Windows as the Tigers are staring down a date with UCLA about 2.5 hours from first pitch, and we're counting you down right to it here on AFR.
After further review.
Speaking of proud partners of LSU Athletics, how about Action Industries? Been right there, arm in arm with the LSU baseball team all throughout this season. We've been telling you, of course, for every LSU baseball game throughout the year, every mound visit presented by Action Industries. So this is a local company that's been local for 43 years, loves the Tigers, arm in arm, hand in hand, lockstep, supporting the Tigers. And, of course, LSU Athletics and Action Industries wishes LSU, Jay Johnson, and the whole baseball squad the best of luck as they move throughout this College World Series, including tonight's game against UCLA. And, of course, if you work in the petrochemical refinery markets, you probably have heard of Action Industries. You may know what they do, but when it comes time to hire industrial contractors, remember, they're local and they know who they are. They offer specialty welding services, 24-hour support when it comes to their turnaround group. Make sure you check them out over at Action Industries.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Your Fighting Tigers of LSU are back at the College World Series, and we've got all eyes on Omaha, powered by Our Lady of the Lake. Our coverage is anchored by Hunt Palmer and is also presented by GoFlow IV Spa and Yingling Flight. Watch each broadcast live on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Go Tigers from Our Lady of the Lake, GoFlow IV Spa, Yingling Flight, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
We do appreciate all our sponsors for allowing us to have that presence there in Omaha. Hunt's doing an awesome job. You can get his full pregame advance over at LouisianaSports.net. Always free, everything over at LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no freemium, always everything free at LouisianaSports.net. Again, right there on the homepage, you get the full advanced gamer there for from Hunt Palmer over at LouisianaSports.net. Again, we certainly encourage you to go read the site, to bookmark it, to tell a friend. It's there. We want to be your home for Louisiana sports. We like to say our fingers on the pulse. If it's something that you care about, we're going to be writing about it totally free over at LouisianaSports.net. So no article limits, all the things that annoy you when you're trying to read content. We try to eliminate all those over at LouisianaSports.net. So bookmark it and let a friend know that LouisianaSports.net is there. And Hunt's up in Omaha covering the College World Series for us here at 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and LouisianaSports.net. So we appreciate all of you for the support. We'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. Greg Sankey over the weekend did lobby for keeping he was on Golic and Golic, the new podcast with Mike Golic, Sr. and Jr., and he lobbied for keeping a committee instead of going to computers in the new, very likely expanded version of the college football playoff. He said, my thought is there's like always a pendulum swinging. You heard plenty last year, maybe the year before, about how we shouldn't have a committee. But if you return to 2008, 9, 10, 11, he mentions 11 with LSU and Alabama, there was plenty of opinion and commentary on there shouldn't have a computer decide this because there was the non-human factor. He said, I think there's a balance of this age of analytics. There's a way for the data to be improved, in my opinion. I think there was a human factor involved. So My feeling on this has been pretty consistent. You know this. I have long lambasted the group of self-important dorks in a hotel ballroom in suburban Dallas, debating things like game control and defensive efficiency metrics to determine who's going to play for a championship. You eliminate some of those factors when you have an expanded field. I personally think the BCS formula was really good. The problem in the BCS wasn't the BCS formula. The problem was you only had two teams. So in the event that you had years where 2004 you had an undefeated Auburn, 2003 there was the debate about LSU, Oklahoma, USC, who should be in there. That's more the conversation where you have teams that have a valid argument for being in the field. And I can go to just 2 years ago, the last year, the 4-team playoff, where you have undefeated Georgia, who's the defending national champion, a two-time defending national champion. They're undefeated, and they have to go play the SEC championship game where they lose. Now, all of a sudden, boom, they're out of the 4-team playoff. It's nonsensical. Like, Georgia was the best team in college football all throughout the season that year, and they don't get in because they lost a stupid, a meaningless conference champion, an extra game that's nothing but a money grab by the league. It's stupid. It makes no sense. So I do believe that we should have the impartial component of an algorithm that people can agree on, that can spit out the number in the field. It's no different than if you have a power ranking system, like in the LHSAA playoffs, have a power ranking system that seeds the field. I mean, that's not a bad idea to eliminate human bias, which absolutely exists everywhere. So if you give me the option of having inherently biased humans putting together a bracket, or an agreed upon system. That's the imperative part here. The agreed upon system where everybody going in knows this is the formula that you're relying on. Like the net ranking in basketball or RPI in college baseball, whatever, you know what it is going in. Like if you play in a crap league, you better load up your non-conference so you don't get crushed by the strength of schedule metric. I mean, those are the types of things it would do. And what you would avoid is Indiana making the playoff because they're 11-1 playing an absolutely hot garbage schedule. So, yeah, I think there should be an objective metric component to it. I mean, if you just gave me the BCS formula and a 16-team field, I'd be perfectly fine with that. Wouldn't have to listen to Honey Boo Boo, or what's the guy's name that was talking to the thing last year?
Last year? It was Ward Manuel last year. Yeah.
New Orleans guy, right? That's what we're talking about. Brother Martin, shout out. I think I remember somebody telling me that. And then went to Michigan. Or is it Michigan AD?
He's the Michigan AD, correct.
Congrats.
Yes.
That's exactly what we need. I need somebody up there just giving me lip service about all the stupid stuff that they decided in a room that they don't have to answer to because the next week they'll just change it and there's no accountability whatsoever. Stupid. Get rid of all that. All right, it's after further review. We'll go around the SEC in just a second. We are brought to you by Evermore. Y'all, it's hot outside. 84 degrees right now. Did have some rain earlier. Apparently it's been raining all weekend. I was in Boston. And then Maine, where, by the way, yesterday when I woke up in Maine, it was 39 degrees. How about that, Muse? 39 degrees on the Atlantic Ocean yesterday.
Hard pass.
How about that?
I mean,
gorgeous during the day. To wake up on June the 14th or June the 15th at 39 degrees. Not really my cup of tea, but gorgeous up there. I mean, it's gorgeous. Anyway, check out Bar Harbor, Maine, if you've never been. Really fantastic. But anyway, stay hydrated with Evermore. EVA-MOR. It's a Louisiana product. Natural artesian water. A healthier option for you, for your family. Better form of hydration for the kiddos. Get it at great retailers. You can buy it online. EVA-MOR, Evermore.com, Evermore.com. You can find the retailer nearest you that offers Evermore. And if the retailer you shop at doesn't, tell them, hey, why don't y'all carry this? They need to. It's Evermore. EVA-MOR. Drink Evermore. All right, y'all, after further review, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky's got its new tight ends coach. It's Deluchcci. He has been the Wildcats' senior offensive analyst and run game specialist for the last year and a half. And he replaces Blanken, who's the guy that left last week. Been there forever.
Vince
Morrow,
yes,
who left last week. Yeah, Morrow had been there for as long as Mark Stoops had been in Lexington. All right, so they got a new guy.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas got its 21st commitment for the 2026 class Sunday when safety Kaveh Foster out of Muscle Shoals, Alabama, committed 6'4", 185. Picked Arkansas over Troy in South Alabama. Real heavyweight fight there that Sam Pittman just won. 3-star prospect. What? I mean, congrats, dog. You beat out Troy in South Alabama for a 3-star safety. I'm sure that's really going to get you over the hump.
We were all thinking it.
The Florida Gators.
That's the difference. Everybody thinks that I'm the only one with the balls to say it on air. Florida, not you, Muse. I'm just saying in general speaking. Florida lands commitment from 2026 star offensive tackle Tyler Chukuyum. 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 I'm going Chukuyum. That's where I'm going. Chukuyum. Tyler Chukuyum. There it is. I workshopped it. Country of origin, please. Tyler Chukuyum. Final answer. 6'6", 290 offensive lineman. Picked the Gators over Ole Miss, Cincinnati, and Florida State.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
OU landed a 2026 running back, DeZephan Walker. He's out of Missouri, 11th member of OU's class. He's the number 370 overall recruit in the country. He is a top 25 running back in the nation.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss baseball added a left-handed pitcher via the transfer portal. It's Missouri transfer Will Liebert, who committed to the Rebs. He was awesome this year for Missouri, who stunk. He had an ERA of 6 in 14 appearances. It's all by context, Muse. When you pitch for Mizzou and you got an ERA of 6, you're awesome for Mizzou.
Yeah.
That's the point I was making. He was awesome for Mizzou.
It was probably one of their lower ERAs, actually.
Tennessee, Auburn, and South Carolina were recruiting him. I mean, awesome for Mizzou.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Dylan Loy has entered the transfer portal. He's a left-handed pitcher. Just wrapped up his sophomore season there for the Vols. was 4-0 this year with a 3.97 ERA.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
And Bama hired an Ohio State executive, Dr. Peter Moeller, as the new president of the University of Alabama. Among his first orders of business is to rededicate Bryant Dennehy Stadium, as I understand it. I don't know if you heard, Muse, but it was a big pile of rubble, and so they had to rebuild the whole thing.
What happened to it?
Oh, they're burning.
Oh,
it burned.
It burned. Okay.
Big pile of rubble. Yeah, not sure if you know. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. It's hour number 1 of a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding, they do shutters as well, ReliefWindows.com. In 15 minutes, I want to talk specifically about Anthony Iansen against UCLA. Iansen, his relationship with UCLA, and Iansen, how he matches up against this UCLA offense. Again, we'll get to that in 15 minutes from right now. Quick break, come back. Saints added a running back over the weekend. Give you some thoughts when we return on AFR.
AFR.
If you are thinking about selling your home, you better call Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Remember, when you call Darren James, you're calling the realtor who literally sells more homes than any other realtor in the state of Louisiana. He's on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America, and it's because Darren outworks everyone. He's got the best programs and systems and processes and people in place to sell your home faster and for more money. This one just on the market, a gorgeous, beautiful little home, quaint on a lake. Look at the beautiful redone interior, Greenwell Springs. You can go fall in love. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, timeless charm, 2,000 square feet. Oh, that's a gorgeous looking home. You can check it out right now at agent225.com. Agent225.com. Call Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, Our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioneer Andrews.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Well, this just happened in Omaha.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss! Greatness from Gage! A no-hitter!
Gage Wood from Arkansas just threw the third no-hitter in College World Series history, keeping Arkansas's season alive. He struck out 19 Murray State hitters. I just looked this up to see if that was a record. Apparently, the record is Steve Arlen from Ohio State against Washington State back in 1965. That was in a 15-inning game. I have no idea if Steve Arlen pitched all 15 innings, but it was an extra inning game, and he struck out 15. Of course, just a couple of years ago, Ty Floyd struck out 17, which matched Ed Bain from Arizona State, who struck out 17 against Oklahoma in 1972. So one strikeout shy of tying the College World Series record, and this is just the third no-hitter ever at the College World Series, and the first, according to Jeff Passan, since 1960, when your team had to, you want to talk about must win. That's why I don't like when people say must win unless if it's a literal. I don't like to say must win unless it's a literal must win, like you must win or your season is over. This was a literal must win for Arkansas, where if you did not win this game, your otherwise fantastic season was over. And Gage Wood took the ball and went through a complete game, no-hitter. Arkansas wins 3-0. Is worth noting that, again, I didn't get to watch this game. I mean, I was preparing for the show. It's on, kind of casually watching. But Arkansas only scored 3 runs in this game. That's 2 games in the College World Series. I don't mean to overshadow what Gage Wood did. That is magnificent. I mean, first no-hitter at the College World Series since 1960. That's 65 years. # math. That's amazing. And we're going to talk about that for a long, long, long time, especially in this era where they've lowered the seams on the baseball. They've livened up the bats again. So it is a more offensive game again in the College World Series. Now, that is a massive ballpark that at certain times plays very big as well. But even still, Murray State was one of the best offensive teams in this field, and Gage Wood just went no-hit him when his team's season was on the line. So hat tip, amazing. There's 2 parts of this. Number one is, obviously, in throwing that no-hitter, he preserved the bullpen. So Arkansas didn't have to use any other arms. Now they'll play on Tuesday against the loser of tonight's game with LSU and UCLA. Again, another elimination game. So we'll see what Dave Van Horn does and how he puts the rest of the week together for as long as Arkansas is in there. But something else to consider here is that Zach Root only threw 38 pitches against LSU. So in throwing only 38 pitches, I would assume, and I could be dead wrong here, but I would assume that Dave Van Horn, and I don't know what Dave Van Horn's thinking, but if my season's on the line again tomorrow, and if Zach Root's available after only throwing 38 pitches against LSU on Saturday, and you gave him Sunday, Monday off, and now you've got Tuesday with an opportunity to keep your season alive, I'm probably giving the ball to Zach Root tomorrow with a chance to extend into that, hopefully, Wednesday, Thursday opportunity against whoever, comes out of the winner's bracket game. So a massive performance by Gage Wood, which just gave his team a gigantic shot in the arm by preserving literally, now he threw 119 pitches. So, he's done presumably until the weekend. If they get to a championship series, maybe you could see him there. Or maybe you could see him for like a batter, an inning type thing if you get to Thursday. with 2 days off, kind of like as a bullpen day where if you needed him out of the bullpen, you could use him for an inning, for a batter, 10 pitches maybe. You'd hope it wouldn't come to that if you're Arkansas. If you're LSU, you really hope it don't come to that at all. But a significant event there at the College World Series for a number of different reasons. Gage Wood, a complete game no-hitter for Arkansas. As a matter of fact, he was just a hit batsman in the 8th away from a perfect game. The only batter that reached base was he hit a guy on the foot in the 8th inning. Other than that, nobody reached base for Murray State. Incredible outing by Gage Wood. Okay, we're wrapping up hour number 1. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Father's Day is in the rearview mirror. Maybe as we're moving into the summer, we're thinking about engagement. Maybe if you're engaged, the wedding's coming up. You need your wedding band. You can get that at Lee Michaels. Remember, if you want to thrill her with a gorgeous diamond, a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry is perfect for any occasion. lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, y'all, SportsCenter staring you straight in the face, and we're heading back to Omaha. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com, new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. I tell you about South Point every single day, and I've been able to do that for almost 15 years now. And I love telling you about South Point for so many reasons. You know, the Volkswagen culture is one of having fun. You've seen that in their commercials over the years, all the way back to the Volkswagen Beetle, the punch buggy van, or pinch buggy, whichever you presume or prefer. Even when you walk into the showroom at South Point Volkswagen, when you walk in, they have an old Volkswagen bus that they've converted into a photo booth. So much of the Volkswagen culture is just about having fun. But they're serious about their vehicles. The great German engineering, all the great safety features, the high performance without the cost, manufactured right here in the US of A at their Chattanooga, Tennessee plant. southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Game 5 for the Pacers and Thunder tonight in Oklahoma City. The NBA Finals tied at 2 games each. Pacers guard T.J. McConnell takes a moment to appreciate the moment.
I think it's as special as it gets when you talk about our profession. Everything just seems more magnified. The possessions seem more important. And as you know, playoff basketball, the possessions matter. So when that's amplified even more, it shows you how special of an opportunity it is to play in the NBA Finals.
T.J. McConnell from our NBA on ESPN radio coverage, which starts tonight at 7:30 Eastern, 8 Eastern for the game on ABC. After almost 2 years away from the mound, Shohei Ohtani will be the opener for the Dodgers tonight against the Padres. Coming back from a second Tommy John surgery, Ohtani will only throw an inning or two. 2 elimination games at the College World Series today. Arkansas knocks out Murray State 3-0 on a no-hitter for Razorbacks junior right-hander Gage Wood. 19 strikeouts. He allowed only a hit batsman in the 8th inning.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Tuesday as we wait for the Knicks to hire their head coach. I'll tell you what else they need to do if they want to be real title contenders. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You sir. And Mr. Toby Tom, play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 2 hours away from first pitch, LSU-UCLA. David Dellucci of the SEC Network in 1 hour from right now. Nick Koop, who is the play-by-play voice of the UCLA Bruins. He'll be here in 30 minutes. We'll take a closer peek at the Bruins. And, of course, the Bruins are going to have to tangle with Anthony Iansen in this game tonight. It's not official. Jay Johnson has not yet announced publicly a starting pitcher, but we all know that it's going to be Anthony Iansen in this ball game tonight. And when Jay Johnson met with reporters on Sunday in Omaha after practice, he was asked sort of the expectation for Anthony Iansen in this ball game against UCLA.
I just expect him, when he pitches next, to be himself and execute pitches and pitch with great tempo and attack hitters and be difficult to deal with because he's got 4 pitches, field his position, and just be Anthony.
Being Anthony has been plenty good enough for Anthony Iansen effectively this entire season. When we look back at Iansen's season, they went and invested so heavily in him in the transfer portal that he was a guy that was going to get a look in the rotation at the beginning of the season. And sometimes we lose context, but if we go back to the beginning of the year, there was a thought that Chase Shores might end up being the Friday night guy. There was also a lot of conversation internally for this team about who out of the bullpen might end up working a way into the rotation. Look, I mean, Kason Evans was the first guy out of the bullpen in game 1 this season. So, it I think was hardly a foregone conclusion that Iansen was going to stay in this rotation. It feels like forever ago, but if you remember Connor Ware's outing against Dallas Baptist in Arlington, which I believe was like the second midweek of the season when they played in Arlington, and Ware was awesome in that game. There was a thought that I think I tweeted about it, if anybody in the rotation stumbled, that Ware would step up and take their spot. And Anthony Iansen bobbled in in back-to-back weeks against Missouri and Texas, now this was back in March, so it feels like a lifetime ago, but against Missouri, who was an historically bad Missouri team, right? Iansen didn't make it out of the fourth inning. He went 3 2/3, allowed 4 runs on 7 hits. He struck out 6 and walked 2. A week later, at Texas, LSU loses 11-7. He allows 4 runs, 4 hits, all earned, struck out 6, walked 2. Forgive me, against Missouri, he struck out 5 and walked 1. So you had back-to-back shaky outings there from Anthony Iansen. And what came next was the light switch for Iansen. They played Mississippi State in the series that they sweeped. In 5 innings pitched, Iansen struck out 12. 1 run on just 5 hits, 12 strikeouts, 3 walks. And from there, he dazzled. A week later against Oklahoma, 5 2/3, no runs, or 2 runs on 3 hits, struck out 8. Of course, they lost the series at Auburn, were swept at Auburn, but he gave you 6 against Bama, 5 2/3 of 2-run ball against Tennessee, pitched the complete game against Texas A&M. It was awesome. He was awesome from that point on, and has continued to be awesome. So when Jay Johnson says Anthony needs to go be Anthony, that's not an exaggeration. This is an intriguing matchup specifically because of Anthony Iansen's background. And he went into a little more detail about it when he met with reporters on Sunday, but he is pitching against his hometown team, the UCLA Bruins.
Yeah, it would mean a lot. Obviously, grew up going to those games. Honestly, just excited to pitch whenever my name is called here in the College World Series. Really cool, accomplishment for our team just to be here. So just trying to enjoy every minute of it.
So he grew up 45 minutes from UCLA, went to UCLA games as a young person. Out of high school, was not recruited by UCLA. He was asked point blank if he had a chance to go to UCLA and said maybe like for this season when he was coming out of San Diego, but when LSU offered, it was effectively over. He was coming to LSU. But knows John Savage, has communicated with him, knows a couple of guys on the UCLA team that he had played ball with when they were younger. So there is a lot of familiarity there and a really good opportunity. And part of that familiarity, though, for Anthony Iansen might help him because like he talked about with the UCLA offense, he really knows kind of what they're all about.
Obviously, West Coast style offense, pretty familiar with that playing, my freshman and sophomore year. They're going to be good hitters, lay off, good pitches that are, just outside of the zone, and they're going to be selective to their pitch. So it'll be fun to pitch against them if I do.
And what's also interesting about this matchup in particular is we think of UCLA as a West Coast small ball team, and they are that. But if you look at the lines in the statistical column that would identify those things like stolen base attempts, sacrifice bunts, there's not a lot of difference statistically between UCLA and LSU. Also, UCLA has a guy on the team that's hit 23 bombs this year. Rock Chalowski was the Big Ten Player of the Year. I know UCLA in the Big Ten, it still sounds weird. But the Big Ten Player of the Year and the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. They got 2 other guys that have hit 12 bombs. So this isn't a carbon copy of that 2013 UCLA team that beat LSU 2-1 in the College World Series and then went on to win the College World Series that year. It actually maybe more closely resembles what LSU has been this year, which is more like a blend of what Jay Johnson's West Coast teams were and what we've become accustomed to with LSU. But LSU has relied this year on pitching and defense and some timely hitting, basically how they beat Arkansas. And Iansen also saw a similar approach just last week against West Virginia. And in that game, he went 5 innings, 4 runs on 4 hits, struck out 7, walked 3. It wasn't dominant for Anthony Iansen, but the way that I've described Iansen all season is that he's effective but not efficient. And he has worked himself into and out of trouble quite a bit. Something that both Jay Johnson and Iansen talked about when they met with reporters on Sunday. This is what Jay Johnson said.
He looks at those things as instead of, oh, I'm in trouble or there's a situation, it's like, now I get to find out how good I am. And it's like all things in life, it's not the thing, it's how you view the thing. And just a guy with a lot of confidence and the right type of mental disposition to be able to do that and then just go execute pitches. And he's special at it. It's a great quality because it's easy for me to sit here and say it. It's another thing to go out and do it like that.
For whatever it's worth, Iansen, number 3 in the country in strikeouts. We know behind Anderson and Liam Doyle. But this is a UCLA team that doesn't strike out a ton. On the season, UCLA has 420 strikeouts. It may seem like a big number, but for context, LSU has struck out 489 times. Now, and that's the 4th fewest in the SEC. And keep in mind, that's continued. That number has continued to climb. That's including the postseason. So you have a game like Saturday where LSU struck out 16 times. It inflated that number even more. But this is a UCLA team that has struck out less than LSU, which is one of the best in the SEC. Again, only 3 teams struck out less this year in the Southeastern Conference than did LSU. So a team that's got good bat control, good bat to ball, they don't strike out a ton, against a strikeout pitcher in Iansen. How effective can he be? It's going to be very interesting to watch. And I think also as interesting is as what LSU does after Anthony Iansen in this ballgame. And clearly, a massive part of that is going to be what the circumstance is in the game. If LSU's winning 9-1, then go throw your up 10, down 10 guys. If it's a 3-1 ball game when Iansen exits after 6 2/3, just hypothetically, what direction do you go? I don't know. I mean, Chase Shores threw 10 pitches, Casey Evans threw 13. Both those guys are available. You've got Zach Cowan. You've got lefty specialists if you need to go there. How they manage this game after Iansen is going to be fascinating to see, but I would love to see Iansen go out there and do what he did against A&M. Just go throw a complete game. Save everybody and take a day off and come back on Wednesday and try to advance to a championship series. So Anthony Iansen gets the ball. The reason I and a lot of people are confident about this LSU team, the ability to go Anderson, Iansen, one half of that aced the test against Arkansas. The other half of that goes tonight with Anthony Iansen against his hometown UCLA Bruins. We are an hour and 48 minutes away from first pitch in Omaha. We are going to head back to Charles Schwab Field in 18 minutes from right now. Nick Koop is the play-by-play man for the UCLA Bruins. We'll get a check-in on UCLA again here in about 18 minutes from right now. It is After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Maybe you want to buy some acreage in Council Bluffs, Iowa, just over the bridge from Omaha, Nebraska, so you no longer have to travel when the Tigers in the College World Series. You can just go set up shop at your own residence. Go buy 100 acres and build you a home in Omaha. Why not? LSU basically takes up residence there in June anyway. First South Farm Credit can help you buy that land. Yeah, they're Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based, but they can help you buy land in any of the lower 48. So it doesn't matter if it's 100 acres in St. Francisville, 200 acres in Omaha, you want to buy a ranch in Montana, First South Farm Credit can help you do it. FirstSouthland.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthland.com. FirstSouthland.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Also, we're heading to Omaha in Hour 3. David Dellucci, SEC Network, will be with us here straight up 5 o'clock. He was there to watch Gage Woods' complete game no-hitter that he just threw against Murray State. So Luch will be with us here again right at the top of hour number 3 to get some perspective on what we just watched with Arkansas, and we'll get his take on LSU and UCLA. So a ton of baseball still as we move throughout the show today. Let me knock out a quick break. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. When we come back, 2 recruiting tidbits I want to get to about 2 5-stars. The latest on Lamar Brown and Tristen Keys. That's next on AFR.
AFR.
Had a friend last week who went through a nightmare scenario with their air conditioner at the home. Had an issue with the AC. They called the AC company, came out after several days, actually broke the unit, had to haggle and fight with the company to get them back out. They acknowledged the mistake and ended up having to fix that part for free, which of course they did. But it was a weeks-long process to get the whole thing rectified. Thing I would always encourage you to do, avoid the hassle. Get it right the first time. call River City's 1 Hour Air. They're the best. The best technicians, the best technology, the latest practices. They're going to be upfront, honest. They're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. You want the best customer service experience to get it done right the first time? You want River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
All right, glad you're rolling along with us here on this Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Again, we do appreciate our great sponsors who are making our coverage from Omaha possible. Our Lady of the Lake Championship Health partner of LSU Athletics, our title sponsor, which is a giant reason why we're able to send Hunt and do his shows there and give you live coverage from Omaha and LouisianaSports.net. So we appreciate greatly our friends over at Our Lady of the Lake Championship Health partner of LSU for being the title sponsor of our coverage. Also, our coverage presented by GoFlow, IV Spa, and Yinling Flights. We do appreciate those sponsors for helping making our coverage possible here at 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge for Hunt Palmer there at the College World Series. And again, we are heading back to Omaha in 11 minutes. Nick Koop will be here. He's the play-by-play voice of the UCLA Bruins, so we'll get a check in there. I wanted to take a quick minute, though, and kind of give a smidge of a recruiting update for two 5-star prospects that we have paid a lot of attention to over their recruitment that were both significantly in the news this weekend. So 5-star Lamar Brown and 5-star Tristen Keys both made waves on the recruiting front this weekend. So first, Lamar Brown took a visit to Texas A&M, and after which he told Hayes Fawcett from On3, Lamar Brown did, that he was no longer going to visit LSU this weekend. He's set to announce his commitment on July the 10th. So Hayes Fawcett tweeted that out. And a lot of people in the recruiting world celebrated. A lot of loser Alabama fans tried to dunk on me, which that's just what they do. They used to count championships. Now they celebrate a recruit announcing he's not going to take an official visit. That's how the mighty have fallen. In any event, several hours later, Hayes Fawcett, update, 5-star athlete Lamar Brown will now take an official visit to LSU this weekend. He tells me for On3 Recruits. For what it's worth, Shea Dixon, who's with us every Tuesday for our recruiting recap, he stopped by off the bench with Hester and Matt Flynn on Monday morning to react to the news that Lamar Brown was not going to visit LSU anymore. Remember, this is before Hayes Fawcett came with the follow-up. This is what Shea said Monday morning.
I do think that he ends up visiting LSU this weekend. That's my guess. It's way too big of a weekend, but Jake, you said it. He's a U-High kid. These kids, I don't think people outside of Louisiana, maybe, or even Baton Rouge get, when we say they go to the lab school, like they're playing football next door to the ops building. They are on campus every day. So when you get the chance to go to Miami and Texas, and A&M has always been the other team outside of LSU, you're going to have a blast at seeing something new for the first time.
Go take your visits. Lamar Brown sat in this studio, like right here, next to me. And we talked about all this. And he was very transparent about how, being a kid from Baton Rouge, he wanted to go go to Oregon, Miami, places that at 17, you and I and most of us, many of us never in our lives get to go see these places. And at 17, someone's going to pay your way to go on these visits. And meanwhile, you're literally on LSU's campus, literally every day. I mean, not an exaggerate. You go to school there every day. You're at every game. You're at spring practices. You know the coach. There's no one you know better than LSU. So there's not really a great need to take an official visit to LSU if you have the opportunity to go see another place. So go see another place. Got no problem with that whatsoever. By the way, key play number 2, Lamar Brown was, again, when he said, right here, this is what he said April the 9th, sitting right next to me. Lamar Brown, his own words about how he feels about Brian Kelly and his relationship with LSU.
We got a good relationship with him. The man love of LSU Tigers, so it's like it's gonna be hard for me, for schools to push away to get me from out here than to like other schools and all that. So with Brian Kelly, it's a great talk with him. I'm supposed to talk to him in a couple, like maybe in the next hour or so. Just a great man. I love what he's doing at LSU.
I mean, in his own words, he has said LSU is his leader, that it's going to be hard to get him away from LSU. And I still think that's the reality with Lamar Brown. I don't pretend to know what's going on between the ears of a young person. I mean, we were all, if you're older than 17, we were all 17, 18 at one point. And variables come and you learn and you change your mind, and maybe it's now at a point where you've got a kid who's a teenager and you understand that. So, like, don't live emotionally on the ebbs and flows and whims of a young person. We all want to see Lamar Brown commit to, sign with, become an LSU Tiger, and be an awesome player. We all want to see that happen. And I think it will. But whether he takes an official visit to LSU or not is wholly inconsequential. And Lamar Brown has seen all you need to see at LSU. But if this is a gigantic recruiting weekend and he plans on being an LSU Tiger and you're having a ton of major prospects in town this weekend, it'd probably be good for him to be in town this weekend if he's planning on being a part of this class, which that might be part of the reason he's leaning there. Now, he did also say in that interview, Lamar Brown did, that he felt like A&M was the school that maybe was the one charging hardest.
Probably Texas A&M, I'll say. It's not a day I don't talk to them.
Yeah.
Coach Elko, I talk to him every week. the D-line coach, Coach Tony and Coach Spence, actually. I just got off the phone with them not too long ago. But that's three great people. Just a great relationship with them ever since they started recruiting me. Like, I've been on there a few times. I usually don't go, like, a lot of schools that much, like, especially out of state. But that's a place that I feel comfortable at with myself. My parents feel comfortable at. It's just the staff, the people in the place, honestly. It's a great place.
Okay, so very comfortable with A&M. It feels very much like if there is a spot that could pull him away, it might be Texas A&M. But we'll see. We'll see how this all goes. Now, the other big-time news, recruiting news, big tape, whatever you want to call it, was Tristen Keys. So Tristen Keys is the 5-star, #1 wide receiver in the country. And Tristen Keys took a visit to Tennessee this weekend, and the video popped up of him in the Tennessee uniform and all that stuff because that's just what you do. You go on these recruiting trips, you wear the uniform, you do the photo shoot, you do all the stuff and whatever. So Tristen Keys goes and takes the visit, and there's him and Josh Heupel. He's sitting there in the Tennessee uniform and all that stuff. Whatever. That's what you do on recruiting visits. There's photos of every prospect who ever went to a school in a rival's uniform because that's what you do in recruiting visits. Now I don't care. We heard the same stuff with Tristen Keys when he took a visit to Miami. Is he going to flip? Is he going to flip? I don't know. Now it's Tennessee. Is he going to flip? I don't know. Maybe he does. I don't know. What I know is this. Tristen Keys is a really good player. He's the 5-star #1 receiver in the country. You desperately would love for Tristen Keys to stay in this class. What I also know is that a year ago, LSU had Bryce Underwood, DeCorian Moore, Harlan Berry all committed. That was the #1 quarterback, #1 receiver, #1 running back. And one of them ended up in your class. Bryce Underwood got bought by Michigan or by Larry Ellison, who's the second richest man in the world. And DeCorian Moore got bought by Phil Knight and went to Oregon. Okay. Like, if my kid was 18 and someone was going to drop $12 million in his lap, I'd be like, yeah, you're going to go to that school. Yeah, you are. So don't blame him at all. And who's to say maybe something like that happens with Tristen Keys? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what Tennessee's offering, Miami's offering, LSU. What I do know is make the rev share NIL component work so it's comparable to or surpassed what other schools are offering, and make it a decision about football and lifestyle. Like, where do you want to be? Tristen Keys is from Hattiesburg. His whole family could drive to Baton Rouge easily for every game. Make the money make sense? Great. You've also got Odell and Jarvis and Chase and Jets and Neighbors and Thomas. You have all of this history and success that you could show at the receiver, all the reasons he committed to begin with. Cortez Hankton, who's a former NFL receiver, who's your position coach, like, all the reasons he committed. Make that make sense. Make it a football decision. And, he'll end up in the class. Or maybe he flips. And maybe he flips now and then signs in December. I don't know. It's just very hard to be overly emotional about anything in recruiting right now because of the day and age. And to be perfectly honest, even if you get the 5-star, there's always the chance it could be Lance Hurd or Walker Howard, the guy that's here for a year and after 1 year goes in the portal and is gone, and you never manifest the potential at the school. Like, all to say, do I want Tristen Keys to stay committed? Absolutely. Do I want Tristen Keys to be an LSU Tiger? 100%. Would it suck royally if that kid flips and goes to Tennessee or Miami? Sure it would. I would also say you can overcome it now in the portal era. Because if he does flip and go somewhere else, and you find yourself in desperate need of an elite receiver, go do what you did this year and go get Nick Anderson or next year's version of it. Just how roster building happens now. So, yes, I want him committed. Yes, I want him to stay committed. Yes, I want him to sign with LSU. Yes, I want him to be a Tiger, be awesome, be a first-round pick, and all that stuff. There's just part of this that you have no control over, especially in this era where there's more variables introduced that you just never had to deal with in the past. So, we'll buckle up. We'll see how it goes. And if he flips to Tennessee, he does. Or if he flips to Miami, he does. And LSU goes and recruits really good receivers and tries to put together this class. And if you recruit a high school class and you find yourself in need of receivers, you go in the portal and you get experienced college receivers. It just, There's ways to do it, and I think LSU is going to be fine because you have everything to offer, and you'll make sure you have a good roster. So we'll follow it all. Lamar Brown, Tristen Keys in the news. Shay will be with us on Tuesday, so we'll get Shay's take on all this as we move along. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. We'll come back. Nick Koop, play-by-play man for UCLA, joins us from Omaha next.
AFR.
Get Gordon, get it done. Gordon McKernan injury attorneys. As we tell you every day, you've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. And Gordon getting it done up at Rocco's. It was 2 years ago when Gordon bought 8,888 Jell-O shots, of course, with a portion of those proceeds going to benefit the food banks in Omaha and Baton Rouge. But now, Gordon, who sat here a few weeks ago and said, got to blow that out the water. What are we going to do? How is he going to get creative? Well, we know now. 888 Jell-O shots every day that LSU is in the College World Series. So hopefully this thing extends all the way through, well, hopefully Sunday. Hopefully they wrap up a championship on Sunday. We don't have to wait till it goes to Monday. But for every day that LSU is in the field, Gordon will buy 888 Jell-O shots. Our buddy Will Helmers, who was here last hour, will be handing them out at Rocco's and across Omaha and be donating money to the food banks in Baton Rouge and Omaha. Get Gordon and get it done.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
I respect him a lot, goes back a long ways, when you're a young assistant coach and coming from a small school into Division I and nobody even knows who you are, and the head coach at UCLA, treats you like you're somebody. That's something I've always been thankful for, always admired him.
That was Jay Johnson talking about John Savage, a matchup of national championship winning coaches a decade apart. John Savage won it at UCLA in 2013. A decade later, Jay Johnson 2023 with the Tigers. Nick Koop is the play-by-play voice of the UCLA Bruins. He'll be on the call tonight for the Tigers and the Bruins. Good enough to join us now from Omaha. Hey, Nick, we appreciate a few minutes. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. I'm here in Omaha. I'm at the ballpark. They're spraying down the infield. I think it's going to be tough to hit one out tonight. I know it's been difficult all week, but that wind is coming straight in from right center field. It is whipping right now, but I'm excited for it. Should be a really well-played, high-quality game tonight.
With the park playing big and the wind blowing in, how do you think that affects UCLA offensively?
I don't think it affects them too much. This year, they have been a little bit more of a power team than they've been over the last few years. I think this is the best power they've had since that 2019 team that was the number 1 overall seed and had all those future big leaguers. So it has been more of an asset for them this year than past years. But the way they train, the way they practice, and the MO for assistant coach Brian Ward has always been to not do too much. So I think they're able to adjust. There were certainly some balls like everybody's experiencing, but certainly a couple of times in their first game against Murray State on Saturday where they felt like they barreled a couple up and probably could have hit a couple out in most any other ballpark. It didn't get it. But I think they're able to adjust. You know, they tend to have very disciplined approaches at the plate. And so I don't think, you know, they'd had one – yeah, actually it was 2 doubles. They had 2 doubles on Saturday, scored 6 runs. And so they do not need the home run ball to have a good night tonight on offense.
Yeah, it's interesting, Nick. LSU and UCLA haven't played since that 2013 game in Omaha, the 2-1 game. And I think conceptually people here just automatically default and go back there. As I look at this UCLA team, it does look like one that's a little bit more versatile offensively. Is that fair to say that they're not maybe just a rigidly small ball, get them on, get them over, get them in?
Yeah, they've got definitely more depth on offense. And like I was saying, that the long ball has been there for them a lot more often. I mean, Rock Chalowski with 23 home runs. That's the most UCLA has had for a player since 2000. So you got to go back a long time when they've been doing that. And, you know, even though there's not eye-popping home run numbers outside of Rock, guys have shown that they have it. But obviously that is not that's not probably going to be much of a factor in this game. But they've got speed. You know, they've got 3 guys in the lineup that've got double-digit steals, so that could be part of the game. They bunt, so they do a lot of those fundamental things well. But, you know, even if they're not hitting them out tonight, they've got plenty of guys that have that gap power, that double power. And so that has really been the leading factor this year for UCLA. Not so much the pitching. They've had the defense that's long been a hallmark as well. And the pitching's been good, don't get me wrong, but they just haven't had that starting horse like Adam Plutko was in that 2013 game for UCLA, going 7 innings. Their starters have been going 4 to 5, and they've had to piece it together. The offense has really carried the day for them this year, and they've been able to get it done in a variety of ways.
Well, let's flip, though, and talk a little bit about what the Bruins do have on the mound. I think the assumption here is that Landon Stump is going to get the ball. Is that safe to say, Nick?
Yes, yeah, he is. Okay. I got the lineup in front of me.
Okay,
he
great.
is starting.
So I can look at the box scores, line scores on the season, but give us the breakdown of Landon Stump, if you would.
He is a guy that will kind of go back and forth a little bit. He's had some really effective outings where his off-speed stuff will get him some strikeouts. But over the course of the season, he has not been a high strikeout guy, and he needs that fastball command to be able to get him strikes. You see that high walk number, 37 in 73 innings versus just 62 strikeouts. The walks have gotten into trouble, but he is a gamer and a battler. I mean, there's so many times where you watch him where maybe you're not blown away, but then you see the line, it's 5 innings, maybe it's just 2 runs, 4 hits, 2 walks, and maybe 3 strikeouts. You know, it's nothing overpowering, but he's able to get out of trouble, strand base runners. And so for Stump, he can be a little crafty. He's low 90s, not going to blow by anybody. But that changeup and that slider, if he's got the fastball going, to have those to offset it, is when he's at his best. So I think it's obviously a tall task for him tonight. The leash will probably be pretty tight because UCLA's got everybody hot and ready to go out of the bullpen. But I think in an ideal world, they would be thrilled if they could get 4 innings out of them.
Okay. Let's talk about that bullpen and who's back there that we might see tonight after Stump.
You've got a few options. They didn't burn anybody the other night. If there is someone that needs to go long, they've got Ian May, who's a real crafty lefty, and he's a really good counter to Stump because, Stump can't touch 94, but May is like an upper 80s, crafty breaking ball, got that not quite a sidearm, but low 3/4 release as a lefty. So he could be a total changeup. They've often gone to him after Stump to really kind of throw hitters off. So he's a guy who's a former starter. He's pitched in really every role this year. Was really effective at Cal, got hurt. They brought him in this year through the transfer portal, SoCal guy. He was really great in the regional round, had 5 innings in relief. He's a candidate. Cody Delvecchio is another guy. UCLA's on the quarter system. He was academically ineligible since the first part of April. Now, the quarter just ended last week. He made grades, so he is ready to go. And he was the Friday starter at the beginning of the year for UCLA. Was a closer in the past. He's now a junior. Wasn't terribly effective early on. He's got a mid-90s fastball, and if it's not moving a little bit, guys can tee off on him. But he has stayed in shape. He stayed ready to go. He could be an option to come out of the pen as well in long relief. On the back end, the guy who's been really impressive, though, to wrap it up here, Easton Hawk. As a freshman, he has taken on the closing role since about mid-April. I've seen him touch 99 with his fastball this year, and in the postseason, he's been nails. 3 saves. And there's been some tight games, including against Murray State on Saturday. He comes in, gets a couple of strikeouts, and doesn't look like he has much of a pulse in doing so. So those 3 names for you to keep an eye on.
We appreciate it. Nick Koop is with us. UCLA play-by-play voice will be on the call tonight there from the Chuck. If there is a blueprint for Coach Savage, how does that look tonight?
I think it is scoring early. UCLA has done a pretty good job this year. About half the time they've gotten on the board first. But when they do, they're 26-1 this year when they get on the board first. So I think the fact that they will be the designated visiting team today potentially bodes well to that end. It's scoring first, and they've had a penchant this year for having a crooked number early, especially here in the postseason. They had a 4-run fourth on Saturday against Murray State. It usually comes from the bottom of the order and then flipping that lineup card over. Phoenix Call hitting in the 9th spot as the second baseman. He's been really good here in the postseason at getting himself on base. And then you turn it over for another leadoff guy and Dean West there, who's been great at getting himself on here in the postseason. And then you get to your heavy hitters, right? You get Chalowski, Lavu, Roman Martin. That's usually been the recipe when UCLA can get one of those big innings. And when UCLA can play with the lead, they look really good. And John Savage is as good as anybody at pulling the right levers, mixing and matching. And he won't hesitate to yank somebody out. He brought in one of his talented freshmen, Wyland Moss, on Saturday, and it was clear Moss didn't have it. There was some loud contact. He yanked him out after 5 pitches. So I think if UCLA can play with the lead, they're pretty strong. I will say, though, the Bruins have 20 come-from-behind victories, so they know they're never out of it, but they do look good if they can play in front by a couple of runs.
Nick, last thing, we let's bring it full circle. We led off with the soundbite from Jay Johnson talking about the respect he has for John Savage. Anything you can add from the UCLA perspective there, John Savage, about Jay Johnson or what these 2 programs and coaches in their familiarity?
Well, I'll tell you, John, just as a West Coast guy, he grew up in Reno. He played his college ball at Santa Clara, and he's coached at USC. He restarted the program at Irvine right around the turn of the century, and then he's been at UCLA for 21 years now. John just has so much pride at West Coast baseball, and so he has a ton of respect for that reason for the path that Jay Johnson has taken from Point Loma Nazarene down in San Diego to being an assistant at USC, coaching at Nevada, where John is from and where his older brother Pete, by the way, is a head coach at Reno High School and well known in college circles as well. So the Savage family is from the Reno area. So John just takes a lot of pride. He loved that there were 3 West Coast former Pac-12 schools in the College World Series. And so that gives John a ton of pride, and he loves representing the West because, as we know, the power in this sport is concentrated in the South and the Mid-Atlantic. But he knows Jay has that experience out West here, so it's not like he's going up against a counterpart tonight where West Coast is going to be something new. So I'm excited to see how these two go at each other this evening.
Nick, it's a pleasure. Can't thank you enough for a couple of minutes. Have a great call tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Matt. Thanks so much.
That's our pleasure. Nick Koop, play-by-play man for UCLA, will be on the call tonight for the Tigers and the Bruins. Great stat. Let me put it this way. It's a great stat to keep an eye on. It's one we hope doesn't come to fruition tonight. But great number. UCLA 26-1 this season in games when they score first. And UCLA is the designated visitor, so they will hit first in this ball game, and they will have a chance to take an early lead. So Anthony Iansen throwing up an early zero, a couple of early zeros could be really pivotal, as UCLA does clearly like to play with the advantage. All right, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. You'll find them online at ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Maybe Tigers win tonight. You're going to pack up and head north to Nebraska. Before you do, take your vehicle to Shaw Bills. You don't want that thing breaking down somewhere in Missouri or something like that. Bring it to Shaw Bills. You need your oils changed. You need your tires rotated, that check engine light coming on, the brakes squeaking. Maybe you're just not even sure what's going on. You haven't had your vehicle checked in a while. What are you doing? Take it to Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. You can find the location near you. You can shop tires online. You can schedule service online. It's all there at ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. Maybe you're heading to the beach. Maybe you're heading to Disney. Whatever you're doing this summer, you're hitting the road in that family vacay, make sure your car is ready to get you there safely. Shaw Bills can make it happen. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, y'all. It is After Further Review. We are heading back to the Chuck. David Dellucci will join us in 15 minutes from right now. When the lineup is posted, we'll get it to you. He said, Nick said there that he had the lineup. I wonder if he got it or if they posted yet. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's see. I don't see it yet that LSU's posted, but we'll keep an eye on it. As soon as they post the lineup, we'll share it with you. Fully expect that the one change with UCLA going with the righty is that Brown should be in right. Pearson goes to the bench tonight. We'll see maybe if they do, in fact, move Milam back up to the 3-hole and drop Jones down to the 5-hole like they did, like they've done here the past 2 weekends. So that's what we'd expect to see, but we'll find out when we get the lineup posted officially. Okay, quick break. When we come back, Musil do Tigers and the Pros. Don't you move. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
We are brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, and you know where they are. Siegen near Airline. LA-16 in Denham. By the way, there's not on the Garden Center within a 5-mile radius of that LA-16 location there in Denham. You get off the interstate at LA-16, you head down a few miles, or see it on the left. You can't miss it. Mid-City on Donmore, you turn off of Florida Boulevard on the Donmore, boom, right there on the right. And then the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. That's the one Terrio raved about that he recently went to. It goes on for seemingly miles when you walk in. It is a gardening graceland, that Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. It's on Greenwell Springs Road. If you're heading out of Central toward downtown, I mean, you pass the thank you for visiting Central sign, boom, it's immediately on the right. It's right there. It's Clegg's Nursery. Hey, look, if you need an seemingly unlimited selection of flowers and plants and trees and shrubs, they got you. If you need all of the things to keep the pests out of your yard or make your yard look beautiful, they got you. So buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Breaking news. East Carolina quarterback Jake Garcia is transferring to Michigan. You know what that means.
What does that mean?
Bryce Underwood stinks. Put it on Twitter, everybody.
Musa,
Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Hey, there's another shutout inning of relief for Cole Henry. He just does that an awful lot. This one was perfect. 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, 15 pitches, 9 strikes. Nationals lost the game, though. Josh Smith continues to heat back up. 1 out of 3 a night ago. It was a single, but he did come around to score. Also drew a walk. Looking at a 288 average here as we make our way through June for Smith. Don't screw it up this year. Make him an all-star.
Cosign.
Angel Reese, her first career triple. No. Her first career triple-double, though. On Saturday. On Sunday. 11 points. 13 boards, 11 assists. Second youngest player ever with a triple-double. As a matter of fact, that Angel Reese in the sky actually won a basketball game.
Hey.
Jordan Thompson. How about this
Let's
for Jordy T, man?
What we doing?
2 out of 3.
Okay.
Homer, his 6th of the year. It was a solo shot. Did drive in a second run in the ballgame, though. So 2 RBI total. He needed the day, man. Up to 223 now in high A. He really needed that day. Tommy White went 1 out of 3, but I really bring Tommy White up just to point out that he's hitting .310 so far, so he's still really good.
Tommy Tanks?
Yeah, still really good, Tommy Tanks. And Sam Burns finished tied for 7th at the U.S. Open. It was a tough Sunday for him, as it was for everybody. 78 in his final round. Had to hit out of a puddle on 15. It was a horrible ruling, and he never really recovered after that. That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020. You know what? That rules official there at the U.S. Open might need LASIK from the Williamson Eye Center so they can very clearly see that Sam Burns was hit out of a puddle and should have gotten relief. You jerks. Do the right thing. Go to Dr. Blake Williamson and get LASIK so you don't screw Sam Burns out of a U.S. Open championship. How about that? Take that. Dr. Blake Williamson is just here for the kids. But in all seriousness, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoni.com. It's amazing when you hear the stories. People come from not just all over Louisiana, but all over the region when they want LASIK, PRK, EVO ICL, custom lens replacement. They go to Dr. Blake Williamson because he's the best. And if you're going to have someone operate on your eyes, wouldn't you want the absolute best? That's Dr. Blake Williamson right here in Baton Rouge, the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoni.com. That's Williamson, EYE.com. That Sam Burns puddle thing was weird because the consensus was that it was a terrible ruling, right?
Yeah.
Everyone seemed pissed about it.
Yeah.
So why did they not rule it the other way?
Because rules officials suck. I mean, it was two different rules officials. Both said the same thing.
That's so weird. I just don't get it. I can't say that I know enough about it to have a strong opinion. But he got out of the puddle!
After further review.
Or maybe he should stop complaining because I've done that plenty of years. But then you know what I do? I just get the old, what do you call like the heel wedge? Just kick it right out of that puddle. Nobody's watching. Just hit it right out of the puddle. Hey, we're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. I tell you what, man, Tigers are playing tonight. Maybe you're having a little game watch party. First pitch in an hour and 4 minutes. Driving home, swing on into Rouse's, grab you maybe a few cold beers, maybe some Evermore, whatever it may be that you're looking for. Chips, dips, fixins. Maybe you want to throw something on the grill tonight. Grab you a steak, beautiful piece of fish. Maybe build a better burger for the whole family. You can do that at Rouse's. Summertime's here, y'all. Spending more time outside by the pool, at the barbecue pit, the smoker, whatever it is you need for your backyard blast, Rouse's can make it happen. Or just, whenever you need to go make your groceries. Support a great local company that supported our state for 100 years. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The NBA Finals back in Oklahoma City for tonight's Game 5 with the series tied at 2. The Pacers are coming off a loss in Game 4, but they haven't lost back-to-back games in 3 months. For the Thunder, ESPN's Kendrick Perkins believes Alex Caruso could be the X factor tonight.
In the 2 games that they have, the 2 wins that they have in this series, he's had 20 points in both games. And we know what he's going to bring on the defensive side of things.
Kendrick Perkins, Thunder and Pacers coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio, 8 Eastern on ABC. Shohei Ohtani makes his pitching debut for the Dodgers tonight against the Padres. He'll start, but only work an inning or 2. He's coming back from a second Tommy John surgery on his right elbow and a torn labrum in his left shoulder. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final is tomorrow night in Florida with the Panthers 1 win away from back-to-back titles against the Oilers. Edmonton coach Chris Knobloch isn't saying yet who will be in goal, Calvin Pickard or Stuart Skinner.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right! Woo!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. 1 hour away from first pitch LSU-UCLA from Charles Schwab Field in Omaha, Nebraska, which is where we find David Dellucci, the SEC Network, right now. Luch, as always, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I don't know if you can hear the wind. I'm standing outside the Chuck in Omaha right now, and the wind's blowing pretty good. Temperature is warm, but unfortunately for hitters, it's blowing in, so we haven't seen many long balls this series, and it's going to take a huge bolt to get it out tonight.
Well, it's obviously a pitcher's park, and none benefiting more maybe than Gage Wood. Actually, I say that, but he struck out 19, so it's not like anybody even really got close to hitting the baseball against him. You were there to watch what just happened with Arkansas. Give me your impression. What did you see from there? Amazing performance, and I mean one of the best that I've ever seen. I watched Laxton and Ty Floyd, and those guys were dominant. And this is only the third no-hitter in College World Series that we saw today in Gage Wood. And of the 19 strikeouts, only 7 were looking. So he was presenting a fastball. He started the game with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. He ended the game on, I think, of the 119th pitch at 97 miles an hour. And the only glitch of the day was a curveball that he pulled too hard, and he was a big toenail away from a perfect game. That hit by pitch ruined his perfect game in the 7th. But, I mean, it was incredible. And really it was something that the Arkansas team needed because the offense just hasn't shown up. And, I mean, they got 10 hits today, scored enough runs to win it. But if they want to go through any further, the offense has to wake up. Sometimes it's big performances like that by individuals that can kickstart the rest of the team. Let's go back to Saturday before we look ahead, because this Arkansas team that just staved off elimination was in this game because they lost to LSU. If I asked you your biggest singular takeaway from LSU's 4-1 win over the Hogs, what was it? Cade Anderson was incredible. I mean, we talk about Gage Wood, and unfortunately for Cade Anderson, he's got the spotlight right now, but man, he was so dominant, and his ability to pitch ahead in the count, I think, was outstanding. Kept the defense on their toes. LSU turned 2 double plays,
And Monster Milam coming up big once again. You know, his bat has been so important. He's getting hot at the right time. Had a really nice super regional. It's carried over here. And I think that performance allowed LSU to stay out of the bullpen. Chase Shores came in through a terrific game. He was constantly hitting 100 miles an hour. And then Kason Evans to close it down. So that going deep in the game, and being ahead of batters helped them out so that, you know, we expect the same or similar out of Iansen, but it saved the bullpen, man, for the upcoming games that LSU is going to have.
David Dellucci is with us, SEC Network. It'll be LSU and UCLA tonight, the winner firmly in the driver's seat. So let's talk about this game that's coming up here in about 55 minutes from right now. Having watched Anthony Iansen all season, Luch, and what you just described with the park, playing big, wind blowing in, how do you think that might affect Iansen tonight as he approaches how he approaches UCLA's offense?
So here's his key for tonight is to keep his heart rate down, and he's going to have adrenaline flowing like crazy. Obviously, it's a big game. It's 25,000 people in the stands. He grew up not far from the UCLA campus, so, you know, he's going to want to go out there and shove. And he said it himself. He is best when he keeps the fastball and off-speed pitches down in the zone. And if he can do that, he will keep UCLA, who's not a real big power-hitting team. He can keep them in the ballpark and be very effective. I did some research earlier. He's got a 70% swing and miss rate on his off-speed pitches, on his slider, actually. 52% on his changeup. So, I mean, that's the key for him. Establish the fastball, make it down in the zone, and then that will speed up the bats of UCLA, and then he can break off the off-speed.
When you flip it, Luch, what about LSU offensively based on what you know about Landon Stump, who's getting the ball tonight for UCLA?
Yeah, you know, he's a good pitcher. He's done really well this year, but it's nothing that LSU offense shouldn't be able to handle. I think the key for UCLA's success is matchups. And they've got a very deep bullpen, but once again, no one in the bullpen overpowers hitters. They just come out from different arm slots. You may have a guy throw straight over the top. Next guy coming out of the bullpen may be a submariner, and that's what they're going to try to do. I don't expect them to stick with anybody, maybe for more than 2 times around in the batting order. So it's important. Look, let's face it. For LSU to be successful and to win this thing, they need Jared Jones' bat to get hot. 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts in game 1. I just think he's got too much pressure on himself. And then Ethan Fry as well. You know, if they can get those 2 bats going with the pitching staff at LSU, they would be unstoppable.
Luch, how does Jared Jones break through this thing that he's been fighting for a month?
Me personally, I always think if you could suck your brain out and just go up there and be an instinctive player, everything will fall back in place. And I made a suggestion on air the other night. If it was me, I would go up to Jay Johnson and just say, look, I am pressing way too much. I'm carrying the whole team on my shoulders. Just let me go up there and swing at the first pitch like it's a hit and run, no matter where it is. Put the ball in play, and then I can settle down and not be overthinking everything else, you know. And he's probably thinking about weight distribution. He's probably thinking about back elbow, barrel to the ball, what's coming out, this, that, and whatever. He's late on everything. It almost looks like he's in between pitches because he doesn't want to get fooled and swing and miss too badly. And if you do that, you're not going to hit anything. So to me, I'm going up there hitting the first pitch, just like a wiffle ball game in the backyard. I guarantee you can hit a wiffle ball over his head right now. He needs to do the same thing in a regular game.
LSU and UCLA, we're less than an hour away from first pitch. Lucha, how do you think this goes tonight with the Tigers and the Bruins?
I think LSU wins the ball game. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what everybody thinks. UCLA has got a really good defensive team. Their shortstop is a player to keep an eye on. Rock Chalowski was the Big Ten Player of the Year. He was also the Defensive Player of the Year. He's a real dude. He's got 23 home runs. He actually squeeze bunted in their game 1 for an RBI, so he's very versatile. It's a solid team that plays West Coast baseball. If LSU's offense hits well, I don't think they can win this ball game against the Tigers. But it's going to be difficult, especially the way that this ballpark is playing.
Luch, the Tigers and the Bruins will play tonight. The winner, obviously, in the driver's seat at 2-0. The loser will have to come back tomorrow night and play against Arkansas. What can you tell us as you try to project a little bit that what Arkansas may be doing tomorrow, what their plan might be on the mound, or how that may look tomorrow?
Yeah, I think Arkansas is loaded. They already came in with a deep bullpen. Gage Wood just pretty much gave everybody an extra day of the rest. And they can pick whoever they want to throw tomorrow. They got a young man named Aiden Jimenez. They also have Landon Bilshecki's. They could use either one of those guys, and I wouldn't sleep on Zach Root. He only threw 38 pitches in Game 1 against LSU, and to a pitcher, that's almost just like a regular bullpen. So I would suspect if the Razorbacks need him to continue their run in Omaha, he may be available. But pitching is what's going to carry that team because the offense, they just are not hitting anything.
Tigers and Bruins, 49 minutes from first pitch. And, of course, the winner will get a day off and wait the winner of UCLA and the loser of tonight's ball game. David Dellucci will be there all the way through the duration. Luch, we appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Oh, man, be well. David Dellucci, the SEC Network. It's an interesting way to say it, but he's right. I mean, Gage Wood did basically just give Arkansas their pitching staff a day off. And we did talk about Zach Root in hour number one. It was right at the end of hour number one when that game went final with Arkansas and Murray State. And I will be so fascinated to see what Dave Van Horn does with Zach Root. I mean, he could very much start him tomorrow, and it might depend on who they play. But do you start Root tomorrow? Do you have him as a bullpen option if you need him, and hoping to save that bullet for Wednesday in another elimination game against the winner of tonight's game with LSU and UCLA? Dave Van Horn, the good thing for Dave Van Horn is he's got options. The bad thing is he's got to play tomorrow and then hopefully Wednesday and Thursday, 4 games in 4 days. That's the bad news. The good news is he's got options. And Gage Wood, man, no-hitter, just the third in the history of the College World Series, first since 1960. The 19 strikeouts, the second most in a College World Series game. So buckle up, y'all. We're rolling. All right, it is after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows. Always love telling you about Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com, ParishRestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. It's the patented non-toxic dry fog that you hear me talk about all the time. You've heard me talk about this product for years. They've changed names and have merged now with Parish, so they're Parish Restoration, but it's the same product. Same Jim Woodworth, the owner, former, as I've told you, he's an Air Force veteran who began in disaster relief up in Manhattan post 9/11, came down here or back down here after the BP oil spill to help with the recovery efforts there. And this patented non-toxic dry fog treatment is incredible. It's more cost-effective. It's more efficient. It's a dry fog, so come in, they'll spray. It's perfectly safe for your furniture, for your carpet, for your walls, everything, not cutting sheetrock, any of that stuff. It's Parish Restoration. Learn more at parishrestoration.com. Go to the website, fill out the form on the homepage. Boom, they'll be in touch. Get you scheduled, knock it out. parishrestoration.com. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. The starting lineups posted for LSU and UCLA. And a lot of what we expected, as we were talking about it earlier in the show, there is one big change that is curious. And it's one that we're going to be talking about after the game, depending on how it plays out, no doubt. We'll talk about it as we come back next here on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. I got to give a big hat tip to Allison Crump over at the Renaissance. I tell you all the time, of course, it's the events coordinator over at Renaissance Baton Rouge. And my wife and a group of friends were celebrating one of their friends on a special anniversary, and a group of ladies went to Tallulah there at the Renaissance on Friday night and had an incredible time. They were treated amazingly. They were spoiled and pampered and all that awesome stuff. And right there on the terrace, which is the outside area at Tallulah, I'll tell you all about. So it's gorgeous. There's the pool right there. There's the semicircular fire pit. Even though you're right there on Bluebonnet, it feels like you've been taken out of Baton Rouge in this secluded area, which is so cool. The food's great, tons of great beverages and cocktails to try. You can give them a go over at Renaissance Baton Rouge. Of course, no matter the size of your event, they're thrilled to host you at Renaissance Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Our starting lineups have been posted for LSU and UCLA, and it's kind of a lot of what we thought we were going to see. Pearson going to the top of the lineup and dropping Curiel down was a matter of, or a product of facing a starting left-handed pitcher in Zach Root, something we've seen Jay Johnson do now the past couple of weeks, but this has been the lineup they faced against righties, which LSU will in this ball game. Was stumped, the righty, going for UCLA. So Derek Curiel goes back to the top of the lineup. Ethan Fry will stay in the 2-hole. As we expected, Stephen Milam goes to the 3-hole here. As a switch hitter, he'll turn around to the left side against the righty in stump. Jake Brown will bat cleanup. So you've got 3 lefties at the top of your lineup there, with Fry being the only exception. And being in the 2-hole, of course, you'll see a lot more fastballs, and he's been really good in that spot. So Curiel, Fry, Milam, Brown in right field will bat 4th. Jared Jones, as we anticipated, would drop to the 5-hole and play first base. Like Jared Jones, much more in that spot. Like Jared was in the studio last week and even acknowledged that dropping him down to the 5-hole last weekend against UCLA did feel like it took some of the attention off of him in the lineup. We've seen that now the last 2 weeks, and I like it much better. If he's going to feel a little less pressure, swing a little more freely, I'm here for it. So Jones will play first, bat in the 5-hole. Hernandez will bat 6th and catch. And the bottom third of your order is where you have the change. Tanner Reeves is going to play 3rd and bat 7th. Daniel Dickinson will bat 8th, and then Chris Stanfield will bat 9th and play in center field. So Curiel, Fry, Milam, Brown, Jones, Hernandez, Reeves, Dickinson, Stanfield is your starting lineup. Now, the decision to start Tanner Reeves is the one that's going to get a lot of attention here, and that is strictly an offensive play. That is getting another left-handed bat in the lineup with very likely the eye on getting an early lead in this ballgame and then quite possibly making a defensive replacement later to bring Michael Braswell in the game. But the very obvious risk that you're taking here is you're removing the defensive third baseman in Michael Braswell for the better offensive option, left-hander with more pop in his bat, and Tanner Reeves, against a team that's going to try to put pressure on your defense, that's going to try to bunt and steal and hit and run and move guys over, and you just removed your better defensive option for an offensive guy. Maybe this is a game where Tanner Reeves goes 2 for 4 with a double, a single, and a couple of RBI, and we look back and go, brilliant. Jay Johnson pushing all the right buttons, and there's got to be something in this matchup that he likes. But I'll go back to what Nick Koop told us, who's the play-by-play man for UCLA, who was here just about an hour ago. UCLA is 26-1 this season in games when they score first. And UCLA is the designated visitor, so they will bat first in this ball game. So maybe this is an eye on Jay Johnson looking and saying he doesn't want to allow Stump, the starter, to get through the lineup twice. Load up with your offensive lineup, try to jump on him early, let Iansen pitch freely with a lead, make UCLA kind of get out of their game a little bit, maybe have to play for the bigger inning, and we'll see how that goes. But that's very clearly what Jay Johnson was looking to do there, and that's the one that we'll look at is your in a best case scenario. You get a lead, and you can make the defensive replacement to bring Braswell in the game with a lead. That's the best case scenario. The doomsday scenario would be you struggle a little bit with Reeves defensively at third, and maybe it costs you a base runner, costs you an out, costs you a run, and what might be a close game. So that's going to be one to watch if you're looking for what's the decision that Jay made here that maybe is a little curious. Everything else falls into place, right? I mean, Curiel back to the top makes sense. Terrio said it here. There's not a world where there's not a reality that makes sense to have Derek Curiel batting 7th. There's no reality where that makes sense. But they keep winning in spite of it. Curiel back at the leadoff spot is where he needs to be as your table setter, and everything else falls into place, I think, as it should. So Tigers and Bruins here, 37 minutes away from first pitch, but keep an eye. Tanner Reeves getting the start at third base, which is the curious decision that we'll keep an eye on. All right, it is after further review. We are brought to you by Supper Club. I was talking to Chef Layton. He, believe it or not, he FaceTimed me, which I don't think he's ever done. He FaceTimed me on Thursday before I was about to fly to Boston. And I missed it. I was like, hey, man, did you mean to FaceTime? I texted him, did you mean to FaceTime me? And said, yeah, I want to show you something. Hit me back when you can. So when I got out of I was packing and everything like that. I FaceTime him, and he shows me the bar there at Supper Club. And lined up on the bar, he's got a bottle of Colonel E.H. Taylor. And he starts to pan. And it's E.H. Taylor single barrel, and E.H. Taylor small batch, and E.H. Taylor the straight rye. And then he keeps going. And it's the Weller red label, and the Weller 12, and the Weller CYPB, the white label, and the Weller single barrel, the orange label, and Blanton's gold. And he's going down the list, and he got this unicorn lineup of whiskey in over at Supper Club, which I believe when they are open tomorrow, they're closed on Monday, they're closed Sunday, Monday. When they're open again tomorrow, it'll be available. So yeah, you want the best steak you've ever had in your life, you'll have it at Supper Club. You want an amazing bottle of wine, you'll have it at Supper Club. You want the incredible presentation, the ambiance, the atmosphere, the best place to celebrate anything or close business or just hang out, Supper Club. Best whiskey selection as well, you guessed it, Supper Club. Right there on Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. Get your reservation today at supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. All right, y'all, it is after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Muse, what do you think about the lineup, the decision to go to Reeves there at third?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I'll be honest. I want Braswell's glove in there for 9 innings in that ballpark where the ball's going to be put in play against a team that hits a lot of singles and moves runners. I want that. I can understand, another bat. Tanner Reeves does not have a hit since April 12th. Like,
how many at-bats?
40. I just had it pulled up.
No, since April.
It's been pinch hit rolls except for a couple starts, so I don't know exactly how many at-bats.
I'll look it up. A dozen? I'm trying to think.
No, it's more than a dozen. Like, it's more than a dozen. That's why I couldn't add it up all the way. And I'll probably regret saying that because, now that I said that, he'll go 3 for 4 tonight or something like that. And I hope he does too. I'd love to be that. But that's just I don't think you're gaining that much offensively for sacrificing a really good glove that started 2 clutch double plays for you on Saturday night. I don't like the move at all.
Let's see. Hits. Reeves. His last hit was against Auburn. I'm look at the number of ABs here. All right. That hit against Auburn was there. It was. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, exactly 12 at bats.
Really? Exactly. Well, no. What about the postseason? Is it really?
It's all the way through West
I know you got
Virginia,
a few start in the starts in
It's exactly 12 at bats.
God, it looked like so many more whenever I was staring at it earlier.
It's just been a long time.
Yeah.
Now that's not plate appearances. Maybe there were walks mixed in, but point is, let's see, walk. I'm looking for his walk column. Sorry, he walked 1, 2. No, since the Auburn game. Let me see. He walked 1, 2,
4 times.
4 walks. So 16 plate appearances. 12 ABs, 16 plate appearances, 1 hit since then. So, but it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. But in fairness too, in the regional, if I can use the phrase, he pissed on a couple.
He did.
And they were loud outs. So he's a more dangerous bat. I don't think there's any denying that. I agree with you. I think one maybe argument to the flip side is to say, because this appears to be a more defensive game, bigger ballpark, wind blowing in, offense may be harder to come by, so give me the better offensive option. I get it, and he wants a lefty in there. I'll be curious to see if they get a lead if you don't see Braswell go in. In particular, and what did Nick Koop tell us earlier today, UCLA play-by-play man, that John Savage is saying, like, perfect world, they might get 4 innings here out of Stump. So that may be a point in the ball game where if they do go lefty after that, you could see Braswell going to the game. So it'll be curious to see how they play it. But it kind of doesn't it kind of feel like whenever the first time we saw the lineup with Pearson at the top, and then it was like 5 straight righties, like it was very clear he was trying to get on Griffin Kern from West Virginia early. It's like get all these right-handed hitters at the top, get on him and get him out of the game. And it worked. I mean, I still would never drop Terry Curry on the 7-hole, but it's what they wanted to do, and it played well. So maybe
that's the thing, man. I mean, like you and I could sit here and not like the move all we want. The buttons he's pushed for the majority of this year, they've worked really well. That's why they got 49 wins. So I mean,
they also have a better team than basically everybody they play.
That helps too. But
talent matters when you hand the ball to Anderson and Iansen, and sometimes we talk about moves that feel impactful and end up just not being because you have better players. And I think you'd agree. Like the difference in this ball game is you have Anthony Iansen who's going to take the ball and probably go shove against the UCLA team that, if they're able to get to him and manufacture runs against him, you'll tip your cap. But Anthony Iansen, after those shaky outings early in SEC play against Missouri and Texas, the first 2 SEC weekends, he was incredible until West Virginia, where he battled through 5 innings. He wasn't his most he was effective, not efficient. If you get a more effective and efficient Anthony Iansen tonight, I think that's just a bear. If you forgive the UCLA Bruin pun. Yeah. It was unintentional. I don't know if I deserve the Cha. But it's why LSU is a massive favorite. LSU, I was looking at this morning. LSU was minus 298 this morning. They're up to minus 330. That means you have to bet $330. If you don't understand betting parlance, that means you would have to bet $330 to win $100. LSU's a massive favorite in this ballgame tonight with Anthony Iansen on the mound, and they well should be. Like, this is a game where LSU should go and win comfortably, and here's hoping they will. So, all right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Relief Windows. Let me knock out a quick break. Jimmy will be here in 15 minutes. We'll get to Auto Locks. Auto Locks are posted over at LouisianaSports.net if you want them already. I know he's got to play for tonight's ball game. I believe he's also got Stanley Cup tonight and the NBA game, the NBA Finals. So if you want Auto Locks, let me see. He's got 3 MLB picks, an NBA pick on the finals, and a pick on LSU and UCLA in the College World Series. So if you want Auto Locks, they're live right now at LouisianaSports.net and always free. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. I'll give you my final thoughts on LSU, UCLA, and then we'll get to Auto Locks. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, we're into the summer months, and I get it. A lot of people are packing up and headed to the beach, heading to Disney. Maybe you're heading to Omaha. But just because you're playing, and we all should take time to play, your business never stops. Owning a business is a lot like having a child. You never stop being a parent. And in the same way, if you own a business, you never stop owning that business. That still has to function at all times and function optimally. Glow Resources helps you do that by finding the right people. There's nothing that will affect productivity in your business. Don't care what business it is. There's nothing that will affect productivity more than people. You have to have the right people and the right seats on the bus to make your business function optimally. Glow Resources helps you do that. If you're struggling, find the right people. Glow Resources can help. It doesn't matter what industry, what type of job you're looking for, they're the best at it. So check them out online at glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Family-owned and community-driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
After your further review. Presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
They're a great team. Been one of the most consistent teams in the country this year. You know, uniquely with the schedule that we play, we've actually seen some teams like them along the way. And, you know, coming from that side of the country, I think I've played them maybe 15 or 16 times. You know, it's good. It's a really good team, good brand of baseball, really good sophomore class, you know, some of the best players in the country. And should be an awesome night, just like last night was.
Jay Johnson, when he met with reporters on Sunday talking about their opponent in Omaha here in this winner's bracket game tonight, Monday, first pitch about 25 minutes away. And this is there is a lot of familiarity here between LSU-UCLA, the two coaches, Jay Johnson, John Savage, starting pitcher tonight, Anthony Iansen, and the Bruins. LSU has played UCLA 5 times. They first met back in 1988 at the Busch Classic in the Superdome. LSU won that game. In 2000, the first ever home super regional at Alex Box Stadium. LSU took 2 games from UCLA. Of course, they go on to win the national championship that year. The last 2 times these teams have met, the 2010 Los Angeles regional, if you remember when LSU had to go play out in LA at Jackie Robinson Stadium, they lost to UCLA then. And then lost again in 2013, that 2-1 game, the Nola Bregman team in 2013. That was one of the best teams LSU ever fielded that, like so many great teams, gets forgotten based on what you do or don't do in Omaha. And unfortunately for that team, they had a short stay at the College World Series. After 2 games, they came on home, and UCLA went on to win the national championship a decade later. Jay Johnson would win the national championship in 2023. So John Savage, Jay Johnson, matchup here of national championship winning coaches. 2 coaches that faced each other when they were in the Pac-12. Jay Johnson spent 6 years at Arizona, and they played UCLA every year except the COVID year. So 15 times Jay Johnson at Arizona faced off against John Savage at UCLA. And Jay Johnson was 8-7 in those games. He started 7-2, and then was just 1-5. In the last 6, those last 2 years that he was there. But a lot of familiarity with style, with approach, and all of those sorts of things. Mention Anthony Iansen. We've told the stories, but Iansen, from about 45 minutes from UCLA's campus, acknowledged to reporters on Sunday that as a kid he went to a bunch of UCLA games. Knows John Savage, but was not recruited by UCLA coming out of high school, and did not face UCLA when he was at UCSD over those 2 seasons. So Iansen said he does know a couple of the players on UCLA's team that he had sort of a relationship with playing youth ball out there on the West Coast. But overall, this is a game where LSU, as the number 6 national seed, going against UCLA, the number 15 overall seed. LSU's a better team, having a better season. They've got better starting pitching. They've got better hitters. LSU's just better. They're a better baseball team. It's why LSU is a giant favorite in this game behind Anthony Iansen tonight. What I do find interesting, though, and maybe that what you'll have to know, is we think UCLA, and I think we're programmed to think small ball, West Coast, bunt, hit and run, like when Cal Irvine came in or when LSU played UCLA in the College World Series. And they are that. But they're actually not that dissimilar from this LSU offense. For example, UCLA this year is 61 of 79 on stolen bases. 61 stolen bases in 79 attempts. LSU is 51 of 69. This LSU team has just 10 fewer stolen base attempts and 10 fewer stolen bases than UCLA. How about we talk about sacrifice bunts? UCLA's got 36, LSU's got 30. They're not that dissimilar. This is a UCLA team that isn't quite as small ball and an LSU offensive team that isn't quite as gorilla ball. So they're still closer to what they are, but they've moved more toward the mean, if that makes sense. Rock Chalowski, you'll hear them talk about him all night. He's the Big Ten Player of the Year, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He's their shortstop. He's a fantastic-looking athlete. He's got 23 bombs on the season and leads them in batting at .362. His OPS is 1223. He's a really good player. Look out for number 1 when he's at the dish. But they've got 6 dudes in their everyday lineup that all hit over 300. So this is a little bit more of an offensive team, but like you heard Will Helmers talk about when he was here in hour one, you heard Nick Koop, the Bruins play-by-play guy, in hour two, and you just heard David Dellucci about 20 minutes ago right here, 25 minutes ago right here, say it. The wind is blowing. The park already plays big, and the wind is howling in from center. Do not expect this to be a very offensive day for either team. And if that's the case, I don't know how much of this plays. It's why pitching and defense probably plays night when you have an opportunity to get runs across. You need to make sure you take the most advantage of it. Now, John Savage, after they won on Saturday, did give a little bit of an anecdote about this pitching staff here for the Bruins this year.
We finally got to know ourselves probably about April on, middle of April. And, we're not going to blow anybody away, clearly. You can tell that. Hawk can do that a little bit. A couple of relievers can do that. But we got to pitch. And they all have a little niche. They all know what they can do. I have a good feel for them in terms of pitch calling. It's a blend. It's a change. It's a breaking ball. It's a slider. It's a cutter. It's a fastball. It's just not one go-to pitch. And a lot of these guys are, somewhat starters that are relievers. And some guys are 3 and 4 pitch guys. And, even if it's one inning, some guys are throwing 4 pitches, which is a little unusual nowadays. Usually you see 2 pitches, right, out of a reliever.
So it gives you a little bit of context into the approach. When Nick Koop was with us, so, don't be surprised if you see a bunch of pitchers. And he rattled off about 4 names. Hawk, who you heard Savage talk about there, is their closer. And he's a long dude who can touch 99. Let's hope LSU doesn't have to see him, not because you're afraid of seeing 99, because you don't want to see their closer. It means they probably got to lead late in the ballgame. But the other thing that was interesting, that statistic that they shared with us, UCLA 26-1 this year in games when they score first. So imperative, I think, for LSU to get a lead and to play with a lead behind Anthony Iansen in this ballgame. It's LSU, it's UCLA. We're about 18 minutes away from first pitch there at the Chuck. And we are brought to you by our friends over at Our Lady of the Lake. Man, big hat tip to our friends at Our Lady of the Lake. They've been such great partners of ours. Not only is Our Lady of the Lake a championship health partner of LSU athletics, they're a great partner of ours here as well, and a great community partner. Yes, when it comes to LSU athletics, they're hand in hand. As a matter of fact, I was checking out the Our Lady of the Lake social media over the weekend. EJ Kuiper, who's the president CEO of the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady Health System, the entire health system, was there with the president of the LSU board, watching LSU in Omaha. So naturally, listen, as the champion health partner of LSU athletics, they are a huge supporter in every way, not only financially, but healthcare-wise, of everything that LSU athletics does. But everything else that Our Lady of the Lake touches in our community. From the Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, which is an amazing resort, not just for Baton Rouge, but for the state and the region to have a standalone children's hospital in Baton Rouge, a state-of-the-art standalone children's hospital. And then you can just go on down the line. Tomorrow morning, I'll be at Our Lady of the Lake on Essen, having my annual physical with Dr. Kurt Chastain, who's my primary care physician at the Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. So in every phase of my life, Our Lady of the Lake has been a great resource for me and for my family, for LSU, for the Tigers, the athletes, the student athletes, the students, and for all of you. It's Our Lady of the Lake, and of course, they're sponsoring our coverage, our title sponsor of our coverage from Omaha all this week. It's Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar. All right, it's after further review. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. We come back to wrap up the show. Been a really good show. Remember, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. And we did cover a lot of ground. We've talked a ton of LSU-UCLA today. As you'd imagine, we're basically a 3-hour pregame show for the game as we're leading you right up to first pitch. But we did also talk a little bit of recruiting in hour number 2, as there was a lot of conversation about Lamar Brown canceling his visit to LSU. Well, now it's back on. And then Tristen Keys, who visited Tennessee this weekend, there's all this buzz that he might flip. Well, there was the same talk when he visited Miami. I don't know what's real and what's not. You just play it along. And if you sign a great class, awesome. And if there's any spots you missed on, you go pay for it in the portal. And you get there when you get there in December. It'll be of the utmost importance. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break of the show. When we come back, Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks. We'll see what he likes tonight in LSU. UCLA. He's got 3 MLB picks. He's got a pick on a Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We'll get to Auto Locks next here on AFR.
AFR.
Massive massive, massive, massive congratulations to Derek and the team over at Duplessis Builders. While I was away, Duplessis Builders, we learned, was named by Pool and Spa News among the top 50 pool builders in the country. Top 50 in America, not in Baton Rouge, not in Louisiana, top 50 in the country. And this honor is based on a list of criteria like staff, industry, community involvement, so many different things. And most importantly, customer service, which is one of the things that I talk about so much. Customer service and building a quality pool that will last. If you want to see more about this honor, to see the gallery, go to duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. That's duplessisbuilders.net to work with one of Pool and Spa News' top 50 builders in 2025. duplessisbuilders.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on mountain.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Monday game day edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. As always, big shout out and thank you to Brandon Holly and the gang over at Relief Windows. They're just the best. 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. Windows, door, siding. They do shutters as well, but their real product is customer service. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. All right, waiting on Jimmy. We'll get to Auto Locks here in just a quick second. The LSU royalty has arrived in Omaha. As a matter of fact, the folks over with the CWS Jello Shot Challenge at Rocco's on their Twitter accounts, the two guys that run and own Rocco's, posted a photo with Todd Graves, Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn. So, of course, Livy Dunn, we saw the Skeens jersey. She had the half LSU, half Pirates jersey for the game on Saturday. A more customary, like tank-looking shirt for Livy Dunn, but most people, I think, are probably going to be checking out Paul Skeens in this ball game tonight.
The jersey was sick.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. I liked that. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Anyway, so they're there at Rocco's, and hat tip to take it off. Thank you. The Tiger TV folks who posted a series of videos on their Twitter account of Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn arriving at Rocco's. There's about 4 different videos, them walking in, and the crowd reacting. As a matter of fact, one of the videos has our guy, Will Helmers, and former Paul Skeens teammate, Will Helmers, up there courtesy of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, chatting with Paul Skeens there at Rocco's. There's some Jell-O shots being consumed. I don't think there's one of Paul Skeens consuming a Jell-O shot in season. Hard to imagine that being the case. But Paul and Livy. Nope. She faked it. All right. Olivia Dunn held up a Jell-O shot like she was going to. She was just posing for the picture, but then she did.
I was about to say, if anything will make you drink, it's that Pirates offense.
Go ahead. You deserve it.
Yeah.
No, you deserve it for that one. That's good. Thankfully, I was thinking of some type of, I don't know. I was thinking of some type of punny response about if this does become an offensively inefficient night with the wind blowing in and good, like does Paul Skeens just like start having crazy reactions? You just start getting a tick or something like that. If Anthony Iansen goes like 8 1/3 and leaves with a 1-0 lead, actually what?
Yeah,
knock on for Micah. I don't even want to. I'm not letting any of the Pirates juju come into anything we're doing tonight. All good vibes and everything. All right, we're waiting on Otter. We good or no? All right, waiting on Jimmy. I'll tell you what then. I will just roll through his picks. So he just hasn't replied?
Yeah, and he hadn't answered.
Okay, no worries.
Hadn't replied.
Right. No, it's no big deal. I mean, we just do it every day at this time. So, like, it's no biggie. I mean, I can understand how we might forget or something like that. No biggie. All right, so Jimmy's got a handful of picks for us here. Otter locks tonight. Jimmy likes the under 9.5 for this game with LSU and don't worry about it, Paulie. With LSU and UCLA. So under 9.5. He also likes the Pacers. That can't be right. He likes the Pacers plus 9.5, which is fine. But the headline at LouisianaSports.net says MLB 3. It says CWS NBA MLB 3-pack. That must mean 3-pack. It's just 3 picks, not 3.
I think so.
Yeah, that's a bad headline. I got to go rewrite that. What? We got him? Hey, good. He can explain. I just think it's a bad headline. Okay, good. We do have Jimmy. The other one's the Rays. All right, Otter, how are you?
Good, man. Same old up at Charles Schwab. The ballpark is winning, like the U.S. Open. Broke out in Omaha.
Ooh.
Another under. This line went from 10.5 to 13 at start time.
Wait, I'm sorry, LSU or Arkansas?
The earlier game.
Okay.
10.5 to 13. We're looking at 9.5 tonight, right?
Yep, looking at 9.5. Yes.
Yeah. So both teams have a lot of bullpen. And I'm sure you've broken it down. Last time UCLA rolled out this starter in the Super Regional, a very respected Texas San Antonio lineup. He went 4 shutout innings, but it was part of a 5-pitcher shutout against Texas San Antonio. That game was 2-0 in the 8th inning before they broke it open 7-0 for the final. So, but I'm thinking again, coming in about 10 to 15 miles per hour from right field, 3 home runs in 7 games. You know, it plays big.
Yeah.
A lot bigger than most of these SEC venues, all of these SEC venues for sure. So under a 9.5, we're going to continue with the trend. We've been riding the unders pretty much the whole time. I did not bet it. Some people like the over, but we did not have it. That line went off at 3.5, maybe as much as minus 4.5 earlier today. So Arkansas throws a no-hitter but doesn't cover the run line in that one. Pacers tonight, game 5, man. Tough one to get back up to 4, but this line is extremely inflated here. I think most of the lines for the Pacers, the entire postseason, has been inflated. So we're taking a 9.5 on the road. An extra day off to kind of get back right. Just try and keep it under the number. Hey, the Pacers were covering for 47 minutes and 53 seconds and did not cover in Game 4 on Friday night. And then Tampa Bay goes to Citi Field in New York and sweeps the Mets. Now they're back at home tonight. Pitching advantage as well, minus a soft number here. We're going to take the Rays on the money line, basically at a pick 'em.
All right, under in the LSU-UCLA game, the Pacers plus the 9.5 and Rays on the money line. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee, just off of Nicholson.
All right, man. Good luck. We appreciate it.
All right, good luck.
Okay. Hunt just texted our LouisianaSports.net group from the press box at the Schwab, and there is a massive storm cell. Nobody wants to hear this. Just north of Omaha. So, I mean, like red, like red storm cell. It's just north of Omaha. So it does not appear that they're going to pause the delay the start, but something to watch.
AFR.
Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. That's me, that's Terrio, that's Richard Tilley, that's Joe Morales, it's Trent Davis. It's our whole crew over at Parish Construction and Roofing. Yes, we're doing it again, another $10,000 cash giveaway. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Schedule for a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Boom, you're automatically entered to win $10,000 cash, which will be given away on July the 18th. Had a couple of calls over the weekend from friends who need help with their roof. Interestingly enough, one who thought they had no chance, we're just going to pay cash, didn't think that they would get their insurance claim approved. We went to work on it, and ultimately, all they're going to have to pay now is their deductible, and they're fired up for it. Let us help you, walk you through that process. Go to parishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
You gotta believe